Welcome, hello, friends. Especially welcome to Mr. Ryan Gowland of the New World Pictures podcast. Thanks for doing this, sir.
Oh man, hey, thanks for having me.
I
You
did a
can call
little
me
deep.
Chad tonight, though. Like if you need to, if the double Ryans is too much, you can call me Chad. It's
You don't
fine.
want to be Ryan G tonight.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that too.
If the thumbnail was not any indication, for you, because I didn't tell you I was planning on mentioning this. I did a little bit of a deep dive today. I didn't realize that you were a former College Humor individual.
Well, I was in a bunch of their videos. Yeah. I met a bunch of people doing improv out here in Los Angeles, and so I got cast in a bunch of their videos, and I did a ton of those. And then I did a little bit in the first season of Adam Ruins Everything, which is sort of an offshoot of College Humor. So,
Right.
but just as a performer, I wasn't writing or doing anything like that on that. But
Well, I also went and watched a couple episodes of Effed today.
yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. All right.
I went all for it. I was getting ready to go and make our thumbnail, and then I was like, let's see if the internet has any good pictures of Ryan. And oh man, there's a lot there if you look up Ryan Gowland.
Yeah. I put some stuff out there in the universe.
It's not bad. It was nice to see you performing. You look great. It looks like you haven't aged in the last 11 years. You look fantastic.
It's not true. I absolutely have. I dyed my hair though for that on purpose, to look like a guy that dyes his hair.
Right.
Which I don't think works or plays, but it just looks like I'm afraid to age or whatever. And this gray hair that's underneath his hat, I was like, I'm trying to hide it. But thank you for watching it.
I
Was a
mean,
fun little show, and
happy. Eft was fun. I especially loved some of the College Humor stuff because I'm not sure if you ever watched. You are now the second person from College Humor that's been on the channel.
oh yeah, really?
Because I had Josh Rubin on the channel.
Oh, okay, yeah. He directed me in one of those College Humor pieces as well. There was a Twilight parody, and I was a director that was off camera, which always like made me so, because I knew Josh and we had a great time. He's a super nice guy. And I was like, why doesn't Josh do this?
Right.
Well, I'm never on camera. Like, there's no need to have me. He could easily just do this himself. But I was happy to do it.
There were so many of those that I was like, these people are just incredible. And Ryan got to hang out with everybody, especially one where I believe you signed the name King George.
Yes. Yeah. That was the Constitution one, I think, right? That was, yeah. With the guy that you recently had in your studio, your in-studio interview.
That is what I was about to announce, because that still hasn't been made public, and it still won't go out for another week and a half to everybody.
I see. Okay.
Patrons got a real early deep dive into this.
Okay. Well, I watched it and I enjoyed it, and he's the nicest dude.
He really is.
Yeah.
So for everybody, I'm not trying to be coy here. Ryan did a video with Jim O'Hare from Parks and Rec, and it'll be up on, oh gosh, what is the date even going to be? That's going to be the 25th of this month. I had the pleasure of having Jim O'Hare sit right here, and we talked for like an hour and a half, and genuinely the nicest guy. He sat on my stairs and just played with my dog for like 20 minutes. We chatted about Jeremy and made fun of him for like an hour. There's so much that he is just somebody that's been around and working since the early 90s in the industry, which again, for somebody like him, that is not easy to do. It's not easy to be able to go out there and make a living from basically day one and never have to go back. Jim is an incredible person and inspiring, to say the least. Obviously, the industry's changed a little bit in the last 30 years, but
sure. But he's a good dude, and he was so nice, so fun to work with. He was such like a, sometimes you're like, I'm not a guy that people know, but this guy is. But they were like, so he has no attitude like that. Everybody was really cool, and we're neighbors. I haven't run into him, but we were talking about that during that day because we live in the same neighborhood. And I was like, well, I'm sure I'll run into him. And I haven't, not in years. That's LA for you.
That's hilarious.
You'll see somebody, like constantly running into them for like a week and then not seeing them again for years. It's just one of those weird things.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it seems like everybody's there and around you, and then it also seems like they're always in hiding because you hear that they're there, but not really.
Right.
Love it. Um, by the way, tonight for everybody, tonight is the Vinegar Syndrome Flash pre-order that is going live at midnight Eastern. Ryan was not fully aware, so I had to let him know that tonight we are going to be discussing that too. We're going to be staying live until that time, so we are happy to discuss that. Hope everybody is here and ready to find out. I think we have a VSU being revealed, two of the titles, one of them being China O'Brien 1 and 2, and then a cinematograph and one more title that we don't know what it is. So yeah, it'll be a fun night.
Oh crap. This is a lot. This is already on already like a stacked week, you know. I mean, I lucked
Yeah.
out. It's a great week of announcements. It's really good. So,
And honestly, for the second week of the month, that's pretty rare. It's usually the slowest week of the month. But man, you really lucked out on some of these.
I did. I did. After last week, I was like, man, I don't know if there's going to be much left for me to just talk about. And then all of a sudden, they started trickling in. And I was like, dang, all right, cool.
Yeah, and then they came in quick near the end of it. So there's kind of a lot to cover tonight. I guess the big thing, let's talk about some pickups and recent watches, my friend, and anything that
Okay.
you've picked up recently you want to share with everybody?
Well, I picked up the Error 4444s.
Nice.
So I got those. Scissor Penis and Ryan Gowland. And as I mentioned on the Discord, I must have had a few glasses of wine in me or something, because I bought the deluxe one with like the little tin of condoms. So,
Nice. It's a tin of condoms. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to get open, but anyway, there's two in here, and then there's like another slip inside, or another. I don't know. I was like, okay, got that. Then another slip cover altogether, and then 3 posters.
Jeez. Did you
And
get the
I'm
one
like,
with that little statue too?
No. That is for. Oh, that is in there. I didn't get a statue though. Yeah.
Okay, so you
I don't
got
know
like
why.
the deluxe -1, basically.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
See,
So
you
yeah,
can feel a little better about it now.
yeah. I was, when it showed up, I was like, why did I get all this? I don't need. I just want the movies, man. That's all I was worried about. But oh well, I got all this extra stuff, and now I got condoms in case I need those. But
And a movie called Scissor Penis for Date Night.
and it's right, and the condoms. It's all gonna work out. I picked up finally Magnificent Warriors.
Nice.
From 88 Films. I was happy to do that. I also got Once Upon a Time in China, the box set from the sale that 24-hour flash sale that Criterion just did. And another one that I just picked up was finally got Kill Butterfly Kill.
Ooh.
Didn't get it in time for the slipcover, but I, managed to pick it up.
Neon Eagle has kind of killed it in their first couple years, and God, it's not even first couple years. Their first title came out last year. Jeez, now I think about that.
Yeah. Well, I have it right here, but I can't seem to find it. Is it right under here? Yeah, it's right under my nose. Yeah. Which is great, but brutal movie if you've not seen it. But unbelievable, and it looks amazing. The transfer looks fantastic. Like, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are putting their all into it for sure.
Also got the Mondo Macabro.
Nice.
The recent ones that they put out. And I've only been able to watch so far Special Silencers, and boy, was it good.
Everybody is raving about that one.
Man, it was so fun. Like, what a wild movie that is. It's so crazy. Yeah, good stuff. Those are just recent pickups.
My recent one is Bubble Bath from Def Crocodile arrived today with this gorgeous slip. And here's the inner art. Cannot wait to watch this one. Of course, when you order direct from them, you get one of their little trading cards. And I got Ilya Muromets in this one.
Nice.
And it's got some information on the back. Then needed to do some research. And I'd been planning on buying this buying this forever. And I picked up Alexandra Heller Nicholas's Rape Revenge Films, a critical study. Needed to look at some information in this. And this book is, I mean, it's wild to have a book on this subject, but for somebody to look at this as such an academic study is an interesting way to approach it. And man, I mean, there was a while, and I'm not gonna say much else other than this, but Will and I, as we were doing special features, we were worried that we were gonna get typecast for doing commentaries on rape revenge films. That was how many we were doing in the early days. And hardly, in fact, I don't think any of those have actually been announced yet. So one of those is for sure being announced before the end of this month. So yeah, there's a lot of good information.
There's a lot of them, though. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, once you start really dipping into exploitation films and stuff in the 70s, it's like, okay, here we go. You know, it's like that's almost all they are. So we've run across quite a bit of that on the podcast. So
oh yeah.
So it'd be an interesting book to pick up.
I've got one more, but first, Humboldt Whore Honey says, hoping for new Mondo titles soon. For anybody that didn't see, since I didn't post anything yet, Mondo is announcing titles tomorrow, and those are going on sale, I believe, either next week or the following week. So, in fact, I think it's 2 weeks. So you'll got 2 weeks to save up. We got another Mondo bundle coming soon, and one of them is one of the Spanish S classification titles. That's what they're teasing with. So very eager to see what that is. Will checked in and said, worried, more like hopeful. Maddie is working on a podcast about revenge. Come join us when we're up and running. Please, yeah, share the name for sure. Last thing I picked up was one that I had shied away from due to the price for the longest time. And then I sold some things recently, and it happened to go on sale. I was like, well, I mean, this is just destiny. So I had to pick up the Paramount Scares Volume 1.
Ooh, wow.
And this thing, for those that didn't see the details, this has 5 movies in 4K. One of them being exclusive to this box set, which is the Sweeney Todd from Tim Burton on 4K. This also comes with an exclusive, and this is really cool, actually, an exclusive Fangoria issue.
Wow.
And Justin Beam was able to help with a lot of this. He helped get some people involved to write. He wrote some for this. It's got stickers. It's got a little Paramount pin in here, and it's got 5. If you're into like the unique slipcovers, all 5 of the titles are with slipcovers that you can't get anywhere else but this box set. But the titles, we've got Rosemary's Baby, Pet Sematary, the original, Crawl from 2019, Smile, and then Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. It's a fun box set. I probably never would have got it if Sweeney Todd wasn't exclusive to this yet. I'm watching Sweeney Todd hopefully this weekend because I liked it when it came out. I want to check it out again. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Probably one of the last great Burton. Is that? Am I gonna get?
No, I mean,
for that?
I've always loved Burton. I don't think there's any that's okay. There might be one that's pretty awful, but I love most of his stuff.
Me too. Grew up on his stuff, you know.
You watch a lot, so why don't you share what you've been watching recently?
Oh, I grabbed a couple of these. I'll just start with this one. Blood Rain.
Uwe Bull.
Yep. I had a gift card, and I decided maybe Blood Rain has improved. And it turns out, you know what, Ryan? It stayed the exact same film.
Dang. I really hope that with time it would have morphed into something different.
It hasn't, as it turns out. And then I found, like, I was just watching it and kind of looking things up, and I found out this had $25 million budget. Like, what?
On what?
How? I mean, I guess they paid the cast because Ben Kingsley's in it. I mean, I don't understand. And he got an even bigger budget after this because In the Name of the King, he did that one, and that was like a $60 million budget, and that's with Jason Statham.
And now his films are getting 4K releases, Ryan.
4K. I mean, look, I knew what I was getting into. I'm the one buying Blood Rain in 4K.
From
I
Massacre
understood.
Video specifically.
Massacre Video, exactly. So I was like, I know what I'm getting into, but who knows? Maybe this could be really fun. As it turns out, it was still just Blood Rain. But speaking of fun, though, is I watched Like and Colony. I don't know if you've seen this one or not.
I've not yet. I did just get it recently, so I'm
It
curious to see what you thought.
is. I'm not a huge shot on video fan, but this one is just absolutely bonkers. Like this one defies description. It's just crazy.
Have you watched any of the Visual Vengeance titles yet?
I've only watched a handful. I haven't watched tons of these, and this one's making me want to kind of get more of them because this was pretty damn fun. And the best part was there was an interview with the director, and what I love about physical media is that you get to like see this guy was like, I made a crappy movie. And nobody knew anything about it. And all of a sudden people started getting into it and people like it. I don't know. Like, it's a great interview. And it just made me even more charmed by this movie. This guy was like, I don't know. I was just trying to make a movie. And then like, I didn't think it'd go anywhere. And then it took off. So I really had a lot of fun with Like and Colony. That was a good one.
I agree with Brendan. If you don't have it yet, pick up their release of Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell.
That's the one the other one I have. And I've watched that several times. that one's a blast. So fun. In fact, I showed a bunch of buddies came over and I showed that as like a pre-feature because I was like, this thing is like you gotta see it. You can't explain it. It's
not at all. Yeah, it's a great one.
It's a super good one. I was super late on this one. Tai Chi Master. This is the DVD. I also picked up the like double Blu-ray as well, but I bought this at a record store for next to nothing. But this is the original DVD, which has a commentary from a former employee of Miramax that maybe is a persona non grata, but still
good choice.
Yeah, I mean, but the movie itself I had not seen, and I can't believe this was like right in the time when I was heavily into like Hong Kong cinema, and somehow I totally missed this one. And so this film is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely worth getting and get the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray will have all the other special features, just not the commentary.
And if I remember right, the double that was from Ronin Flicks, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronin Flicks used to be like a juggernaut and release stuff all the time. I don't know what has happened. They've quieted down a lot, but then all of a sudden that thing got announced. I'm just glad they're putting it out. Yeah,
me too. I've ordered from them a bunch, and I'm I don't know why it's so sporadic. Their Haunt release was pretty cool.
Yes.
So I mean they put out some really cool stuff. Two more here. The Rockafire Explosion.
Nice. What'd you think?
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's pretty great. I mean, I think I pretty much only came in on Chuck E. Cheese, but I thought this was pretty fascinating. I wish it had expanded a bit more in terms of like how the business started and got a bit more into like what happened, how Chuck E. Cheese came in. It really concentrates on such a small amount of people. So scope wise, it's small, but it's still very interesting. And, people in their obsessions and collecting, like, I get it, and then lastly, Equilibrium.
Okay.
Got this DVD for next to nothing. And forget the Matrix, they say on the box. You know what won't let you forget the Matrix? This movie. Because it's very much about the Matrix. It's very post-Matrix. I think it's like 2001. And really interesting to like think of Christian Bale's career around that time. He had done American Psycho, but he was still pretty much trying to like find where he was going to go. So he really picked some odd movies, and especially Equilibrium. An odd movie, sort of a weird sci-fi kind of 1984 kind of situation, and very much influenced by the Matrix.
Nice.
So
It has been a busy week for me, so I've watched a grand total of 1 movies. That's
Oh,
that's
okay.
not good grammar, but it was on purpose. The one movie though, I made it a great one. I finally got to a 3.5-year-old disc that I've been dying to watch for 3.5 years. Arrow's release of Versus from 2000, and
It is
that movie
amazing.
is special.
Yeah, real good.
Like, first off, it is very difficult to describe because by the 8th minute, you've already seen, I think, 7 genres.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in a good way, not in a
Oh
bad
yeah.
way at all. Uh, then after that, it's a messy movie. There's a whole lot of plot. The plot doesn't make much sense through most of it, and somehow it's
It doesn't
still
matter.
it's a 4.5 star movie for me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything about it is fun. There's like multiple 50 cal machine gun fights. How? Okay. That doesn't have, I mean, sure, I got it. But the best thing, I mean, you already mentioned it, so I kind of want to highlight the reason why we have this show is because physical media is so damn important. That release of Versus has tons of special features. It
Yep.
has the ultimate verses, which is an extra, I think it was like 13 minutes on top of the original version. And it's not just 13 extra minutes, they went and changed some of them as well. So it's
Mm.
actually way more than 13 minutes of footage that was added. It's got commentary, it's got some essay stuff on it, I believe. But the big thing, the booklet in that has an interview with the director, which if you've never seen Versus, it's the same director that did Midnight Meat Train, and
Mhm.
it's that level of bonkers on the side of a mountain. So you might see what you're getting into. But beyond that, it's got like the story of how they made this movie, and it is an incredible story to find out. I think they had $50,000 or $30,000, went and spent that all making the movie in like the first 4 days, and then had to earn the money to shoot the next day every single night after that. And they shot for months. And then beyond that, there was like they're filming on the side of this mountain, and then snow was coming in, so they had to pack everything up and move to some other random ass mountain and go
Wow.
finish the movie. I mean, so much about this is just an improbability that could ever get made, let alone released, let alone be good enough for people to love 25 years later. And here we are. Like, that movie's incredible. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so good. I totally agree.
Glad you enjoy it. The big thing, for anybody that did not see the interview with Ryan that was posted, oh gosh, like 6 weeks ago now, seven. My life has been a blur for the last month and a half, so it might have been like 4 years ago. When when Ryan was on the channel recently, we discussed his podcast, the New World Pictures podcast, but
Mhm.
stuff has been happening since then. What's been going on the podcast?
Gosh. Oh, now I've been thinking just about physical releases. It's we've just been going through more movies. New World Pictures movies specifically. We had a great interview with the director of the American scenes of Godzilla 1985. And I put out a couple videos. I'm trying to put together like a longer video of that interview because we actually interviewed him twice and spliced that all together over 2 interviews.
Ah,
His name is RJ Kaiser, and he had a long career at New World. So we spoke to him about all of his career, and then I was like, we only get like 20 minutes or so about Godzilla, and we're about to talk about the movie. Let's get another go. And he was so gracious, and we spoke for at length. I mean, the guy's just a really cool guy, really interesting. So I kind of put a lot of those together and put together a little bit of an extended version on our YouTube page. And somebody was very nice and said, like, this is the closest we'll get to like special features for this movie because they're never going to release that on any sort of physical media. Toho is never going to let that one out. So that was really cool. So that was really cool and really nice to do. And then we're talking about sports movies here in March Madness. So we've been going through those, and we're gonna have our annual Roger Corman birthday special coming up, where we watch some of his movies. Hopefully, we're gonna have a guest. I'm trying to work on that right now for it. So somebody who's interviewed him and talked with Roger. So we'll see how it goes there. So things are going well. Things are going well. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We're having a good time as usual, and yeah, it's been a blast. Definitely keeping us busy.
I mean, I'm like dreaming of the day that you send me a message and say, "Hey, don't tell anybody, but Roger's gonna be on the show."
Oh, yeah.
That would be incredible.
That would be incredible. Yeah, I feel like we are going to try to make a move on that, pretty soon. Just because he's getting up there in years, so
Yeah.
like we might as well try to strike while the iron's hot. So we may reach out to him. He follows us on Twitter, so that's
Nice.
pretty cool. Or whoever runs his Twitter account, but nonetheless, so yeah, we may reach out to him just because it's like we would love to talk with him, and it would be great for me because I'm writing a book about New World Pictures. So I need to for the book, so it's
Right.
another great excuse to talk to the guy.
Double whammy.
So yeah.
Big thing over the last 24 hours on physical media. Did you see the clip from Jimmy Fallon's show last night?
Oh, yes, the one with Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie
Yeah,
Coon was on the show, and he starts talking to her, and then she goes in to say that we have 10,000 Blu-rays at home, and Jimmy Fallon responds by saying, "What? Why? Haven't you heard of the internet?" And man, every single physical media channel and label has been sharing this and just like praising this person. And
Yep.
to be fair, she deserves all the praise in the world. Like,
Sure.
if you go look at her on Twitter, she is sharing boutique pickups, sharing what discs they watched last year, praising some of these releases. She's clearly region free, which is nice. I mean, it was a nice sign, but the biggest thing through the entire clip, for DVD Beaver to get a shout out on the Tonight Show, that is legendary.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah, her husband Tracy Letts, who's a playwright, he's apparently against streaming.
Yep.
And he's not on social media as far as I can tell. And she'll have like tweets where she's like date night, and then she'll list just the name of the movie. It's all text, and then she'll just like put like who put out the release. And she had one where she didn't put like who made it, and then she replied to herself with like at Kino Lorber. And I'm like, bless you. I was an instant follow. I was like, oh, I got to see what she and Tracy are up to. Because yeah, that was really cool.
I would love to see the analytics behind DVD Beaver's website, how they were getting
right. What a bump they
low
got.
amount of hits, and then last night they had to have skyrocketed over the last 24 hours.
Had to.
Oh man. Anything else going on in your world? Any upcoming episode that you want to highlight?
Not an upcoming episode, but I will mention tomorrow. There's a movie called The Prank that is opening. It's only like it's not opening that wide, so I'm not sure like if it will be in everybody's city, but it is a movie with Rita Moreno, and it's kind of like a horror comedy, and I might pop up in it for like a minute, so go see it. Go check it out. Yeah. I was just at the premiere last night, so it was really cool, and it was fun to see. So opens up tomorrow. Go check it out, and then it's not streaming at the moment, but if you can't see it in your town, then when it's on streaming, watch it.
You have been assigned.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
This is necessary, guys. Rent it. Make sure they get their money back. Make sure they bring me back some, maybe.
Tonight we have a ton of announcements to go over. So are you?
Oh yeah.
Are you ready for this, sir?
I'm not ready, but let's do it.
Well, first up on the docket, if you notice, we are both wearing Severin Films t-shirts, Enigma, and then the Severin Halloween shirt from last year. So let's start with some Severin.
Let's do it.
And my God, this slate surprised the hell out of me. So first, these are all coming in April. If you buy them from the Severin website, I believe they're coming in May if you get them as the wide release. But first, we are getting The Great Alligator from Sergio Martino on 4K. This previously had a Code Red release, and that is a little older than you would think, because it was released... Oh gosh, I think that one was like a 2014.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
2017. Sorry. So a big 7-year gap in between releases for this movie, but Severin went all out on this entire slate. So the first disc on this, we got a 4K disc and then a trailer, and that's it. The second disc, though, Blu-ray and special features for this. So the feature is on the second disc if you only have a Blu-ray player. They have an interview with Sergio Martino on here, interview with the actress Silvia Colatina, interview with the camera operator, interview with the production designer, the underwater camera operator, Three Friends and an Alligator is a discussion with a whole bunch of people involved with the film, and then a video essay by Lee Gambit, who's been on the channel. He has done a lot of stuff for animal attacks movies, and supposedly this is an incredible visual essay. Cannot wait to see this. The Great Alligator. Have you ever seen this one?
I sure did. Yeah. I watched it twice, but the first time I watched it really late at night, and I was not prepared for the lack of alligator for like the first 45 minutes to an hour, and I was like too tired, and I was like, I don't know, pick this up later, and then I forgot to pick it up, but I rewatched it finally. And once if you know going in there's not a lot of alligator, it's still a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. Mel Ferrer is in it. Sergio Martino is a great director. He directed Island of the Fishmen, released by New World Pictures as Something Waits in the Dark, aka then re-released as Screamers when Jim Wynorski finally joined New World Pictures in their marketing department. But anyway, so I watched this one, and like it's the last half hour or two is great. So I don't want to spoil anything about the effects, but there's something special, and I'm very curious to see this in 4K. And it's I don't know if it's better than The Killer Crocodile. Did you see those from Severin?
I did not watch those ones yet. What is the one that Synapse released? Shoot, is that just called Crocodile?
Yeah.
Okay, I watched that one. That one, I think that one's a Thai film. That one was pretty damn fun.
Yes, you're right. That is a Thai film. I haven't seen that one, but the Killer Crocodile 1 and 2 that they released is fantastic. It's another Italian movie. It was the only reason why it's a basis of comparison. But The Great Alligator is still like a pretty fun movie. You just have to be prepared that alligators don't jump in there right away. So
funny enough, when this first got released on Blue, I watched it like a month after the release, and there was not very many reviews out for it yet, so I had not heard that there was a lack of alligator. And we were watching this, and I don't remember who watched it with me, but about halfway through they made the obvious joke and said, did you say this was called The Great Alligator? This should be called The Late Alligator. And I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So I've been calling this The Late Alligator ever since then.
It makes up for the lack of alligator in the last half hour, where it kind of goes a little nuts. But yeah, I mean, we could have had a little bit more alligator action in the first hour of the movie. Wouldn't have hurt anything.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still good. It's Sergio Martino, so it's pretty.
I'm still, I will probably pick this one up. So
I'm excited to see this in 4K, but probably not as excited as I am to see Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, which is a genuinely great movie. This is from 1981. Severin is putting this out on 4K as well. Still the same release date. They've got some really good art on this, which is very different than the art that we've had on the Blue.
Awesome.
It's super retro, and man, this is going to look good. This one, of course, we've got Jimmy McNichol starring in this, and we've got an audio commentary with Jimmy himself. We got another audio commentary with a couple of individuals from the film, moderated by Nathaniel Thompson, who's been on the channel before as well. And then that's not even it. We got a third audio commentary on this with the co-producer and unit production manager. And then, of course, on the Blu-ray, we've got even more. We've got multiple interviews, one with Bo Svensson. We've got some trailers. We've got just everything. Like they are going all out on these. I'm sure you've seen this one too. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I have seen it, and you have to. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch this for the Susan Terrell performance, because it is something else. She is so fantastic. Yes, Dude McMahon, Island of the Fishermen and Screamers are the same movie. Jim Wynorski made a trailer for the movie when they were trying to resell it. Roger Corman if it didn't make money the first time, he retitles it and puts it back out. And Jim Wynorski made a trailer, and he said, you'll see men with their skin turned inside out in the trailer. And everybody was like, yeah, all right. And they went to see it, and they saw Screamers, but it didn't have that. And then they had to pull all those and then try to see if they could put the footage from the trailer into the movie. So yeah, Screamers and Island of the Fishermen are the same. So many different releases for that particular movie. That's released on I think Wicked Vision is how I have the original Italian one. Then I just picked up the out of print Blu-ray that was put out for Screamers, so that's on its way. So like, hopefully, and then I think Full Moon has released it. But in any case,
Yep.
Susan Tyrrell, she's amazing in this movie, and she, of course, from the first two Angel films released by New World Pictures, right after this. But her performance is unreal in this movie. This may be her quintessential performance, I feel like. And Jimmy McNichol, also from a New World movie called Smokey Bites the Dust, which he did either, I think, right after this. After this movie, he did that one, and that's a real wild one of just other car crash footage Corman had from other movies that he just stitched together a new narrative and included all that footage and just skeleton together a new movie. But
it's a very Wynorski move too.
Sure. Well, Wynorski learned from the best.
Right.
But this movie is much better than that. this and even Jimmy McNichol is much better in this as well. Like, if this kid could have just been free to play basketball. Also, a great performance an early performance from Bill Paxton as well, who's also plays his scheming rival on his basketball team.
Yep. Good stuff. Then the third title is the incredible Kathy's Curse, which I happen to love. It's a cheesy little Canucksploitation
It is
riff on The Exorcist. I first saw this, Severin's old release of this. Again, this was probably another 6 or 7 year old disc. And I think I got the disc for like $8 in a sale in like 2018. And it's not amazing, but man, is it fun. Very cheesy. And as you can tell from the picture, if you're watching live, this Severin, oh man,
that box is like, wow. It's calling me. It's calling me.
Yeah, they went all out. Light up box for a 4K release of Kathy's Curse.
Cool.
And whoever could have expected Kathy's Curse to get a 4K release?
Yeah, it's a wild movie. If you put on a Venn diagram, you put Exorcist and Amityville Horror, and that what comes out in the Venn diagram is Kathy's Curse.
Yeah.
With some wild snakes happening and lots of other some very weird stuff. I didn't love the film as much, but it's certainly a good little, like you said, it's a very solid Canucksploitation.
Yep.
And certainly a very solid, like, Exorcist. I mean, this comes out before Amityville Horror, to be honest, but I still felt like it had a lot of those kind of elements to it. It's obviously more of an Exorcist, riff than Amityville, because it hadn't been made yet. But this box, I mean, I saw that and I was like, you know what? I may just need to get this one regardless, because that box is unbelievable. So cool.
And
love the
cool
art
thing,
on it.
Even if you already have the Blu-ray and don't want to upgrade, you can buy just the box, which is a very, to be fair, which is a very not Severin thing. Normally these would be limited to something, but they went immediately into like, hey, we are totally open for everybody. If you want to buy the box, just come buy the box. And the cool thing too, they went all in on making it last forever, because you can replace the battery easily. That is rare.
Wow.
And kudos to Severin.
Wow.
This is a super cool move.
That's really cool.
I'm glad they're doing it like that, and it's a common thing for this film, because one of the gimmicks for years was the light up eyes. They've done pins. They've done, I think there was a VHX box maybe that did this for this title a long time ago. But
yeah, that you're right. To have this much work putting into Kathy's Curse is just like, I mean, hats off, guys. That is, I mean, what love was put into this release. It's crazy. It's so great.
It's a lot. Keith is pointing out, nothing against the film, but doing 4K reissues means we aren't getting something new. Here's the thing, and I'm not saying this definitively, but seeing behind the curtains for some of these labels, that's not necessarily the case. The fact that we're getting 4 in a month, they still had to pay a shit ton of money to put these on 4K. Yeah. And it's not necessarily taking the place of other licenses. It's because they've done the work on these titles, and they probably, I believe all 4 got new extras, if I remember right. So they are still producing new stuff for them. But beyond that, they're working on, I mean, I can tell you right now from personal experience, they are working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes that is going to blow some minds. That's all new. Um, I really hope you understand it's not replacing new things. It's just in addition to, yes, there was not new titles announced necessarily, although they're new to Severin. There's a
Yeah, they're
couple
new
that,
to it's new to Severin. This is like
right,
the code, like a lot of Code Red. We're finally seeing who's picking up some of the Code Red titles. I think it's going to be a fairly well dispersed, but those titles are now pretty much all mostly out of print. So
right,
like, I mean, this is really just picking those up and then giving them extra to get a 4K, of Great Alligator.
right.
I mean, my lord. So, uh, and Kathy's Curse. I mean, if they still have the rights to the movie, I mean,
Why not upgrade?
why not? Why not? They're
Yep.
not the first label to do it. That's for sure.
Well, and beyond that, it's not like they released the Blu-ray 18 months ago and this is a cash grab
Right,
or anything.
right.
This
Yeah,
was
they're
a
not Scream
long.
Factory, so they're
Oh man. That's hilarious. Then The Devil's Honey, the Lucio Fulci film, is getting a 4K upgrade from Severin, and they went all in on the artwork that we've come to know and love over the last handful of years. This one is going to have 2 discs. We got a 4K disc and a Blu-ray disc. We've got interviews on the Blu-ray disc. We've got Stephen Thrower talking about The Devil's Honey, and then an audio essay by Troy Howarth, author of Splintered Visions, of course, who wrote on Lucio Fulci. We've got the alternate opening. And then if you want the slip, you got to buy it from Severin because nowhere else would have it. Yeah.
Is there a commentary at all or no?
I don't think there is on this
So they
one.
pretty much ported everything over from this. It's just getting the 4K upgrade.
Right. Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah. One of the horniest movies Fulci has ever done, and yet not the sleaziest.
Yep.
So well done to you, Mr. Fulci. But an extremely horny movie that will make you'll never look at the saxophone the same way again.
It's not even top 5 Fulci for me, but even
No.
mid-tier Fulci is still pretty fun.
And this is another one where like I could hear that criticism, and I thought similarly, like they're not doing anything too different. They're just doing a 4K. But like Severin is how this one gets even out on Blu-ray.
Right.
This thing was almost lost. This was extremely hard to find, and until Severin put it out on Blu-ray, and so now they're doing a nice 4K upgrade. So I mean, if you want to see all those boobs in 4K, I mean, this is the way to do it. You'll never see this much nudity. Well, there's other movies you can get in 4K. I mean, that will have more nudity, but boy, there's a lot of nudity in this. This one is that's not one for family movie night. So don't.
Yeah.
But still an interesting one. Fulci is always interesting. He always does something unique with his movies.
Literally always. It is. I mean, it's baffling to me that he's able to pull off what he pulls off. I'm stoked on it.
Yeah.
Then we got a question here from Cinema Jimbo on the batteries. Are you sure about the batteries for Kathy's Curse? Early press release said couldn't be replaced, but would last between 1 to 10 years. Well, if you go and look on their website right now, they updated it, because if you look on what I had posted, I copied this from their website immediately. All they mentioned before was this part. These are the batteries and they can be replaced. So I guess, yeah, they've updated it. Now they can't be replaced. That's upsetting.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer, especially if you're just buying just the box.
Yeah. So you can replace them, but you damage the inside with it.
Got it. That kind of makes sense, because I don't know how you would be able to, unless they have it on the bottom. Like, it depends. It would be kind of hard. I don't know.
Or if it's recessed somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question from Jake: is the pre-order for next Homegrown Horse set supposed to go up tonight? Maybe. We don't know. I mean, that could be something they're revealing. I'm not sure. I know China O'Brien will be revealed. One other will be revealed, and then the VSU and a cinematograph. That's a lot. Yeah. Sorry about the batteries thing. I didn't realize they updated it. Thanks for that. And then the crazy thing, they also had this bundle that they put up here, the March Madness bundle, where you can get all 4 of the releases plus a postcard that was autographed for the Devil's Honey. This thing sold out so quickly
Wow.
that the link that I have attached to this was not working for people, and they thought I did something wrong. And I went, no, they took the bundle down. But now you can get the just the disc bundle, which is just the 4 titles. No postcard that's autographed, but it's still the same price, $158.
Okay. Well, kudos to everybody that got in on that deal and got a little something extra.
Dave says, would be good to see someone do a tier list of Fulci films. I might have to do that.
Yeah. I think there's only one I haven't seen yet, but yeah, I'd be curious about that too.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
Some of these comments.
I'm not seeing the comments. I'm sorry.
If on the right side of your screen, if you click on comments, you can see them.
Oh, okay, great. I'll do that.
I'm laughing specifically at Sydney saying this is Severin's way of saying get ready for Kathy's curse in 8K in 2034. Clearly not happening, obviously. Yes, the early bird got the worm there, Stan, of course. But not only was it the early bird, it was like the jump on it the moment it's available birds. Wave said I would watch that video on Fulci. Nice.
Yeah. The Conquest has got to be top. Got to be in the top. If you don't put Conquest up there, you don't. I mean, it's the movie that broke him.
And it's the movie that made stock and Vaseline go crazy. People that have never seen it are going to think that was dirty. It was not dirty.
It's not. I love that movie. I love that one.
Man, the lens on that camera though.
Just somebody please get a Kleenex. Just wipe that thing. It's crazy.
All right. Lord. Moving right along, one of the Kino announcements, they announced that Botany Bay was coming soon on Blu-ray. This is from 1953. Got a 4K scan from Paramount in 2022. I believe this had a previous release through Imprint, if I remember right. I think it was in a box set. Let me make sure I'm correct. Or it was not in it wasn't a box set. It was the directed by John Farrow box set.
Okay, apparently I'm frozen.
Oh. And Stan said I was frozen.
No, I think he meant me.
That's not confusing at all.
I tried to clear it up for Chad, but that's all right.
Oh, that's perfect. Love this.
Oh, a young Bryan Cranston. That is very kind. That's very kind. Malcolm in the Middle, Bryan Cranston. Considering I'm probably closer to his age. That's very kind of you. Botany Bay, yeah. I've never seen this one.
James Mason, though, he's good.
Yeah, Alan Ladd, that little sweet shorty.
What a lad. Next, coming soon on 4K from them, we got Hatari with John Wayne, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, although I will say Howard Hawks can direct the hell out of a movie.
Yeah, this is one I've not seen, but obviously seen this movie, like the boxes, like in video stores and stuff throughout my life, and just never seen it. So these are like what Kino's putting out this just as I know we're not done with them, but these were all ones where I'm like, when the sale comes, I could pick these up. I've not seen a lot of these.
Yeah, again, I don't know how Kino gets away with announcing like 11 titles a week and life just carries on. Like that's not wild.
Yeah.
But that's why, if you didn't see in the description, we're talking about Kino Lorber after this tonight. We're going to share some of our favorites and maybe even have a couple honorable mentions. But because of that and because of the Vinegar Syndrome announcements tonight, we gotta rush through this a little bit.
Hatari's okay. Thank you, Stan.
Next up, May 7th on Blue. They are finally putting out I believe this is pronounced Philo Vance collection. Might be Philo Vance. This was announced literally almost a year ago, and now they're finally putting this out. Brand new 4K restorations of the Canary murder case and the Green murder case, and a 2K restoration of the Benson murder case. We got new audio commentaries for 2 of these with Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw, and then another new audio commentary by Jason A. Nye. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard I put some of the Columbo commentaries on this one just to kind of
They're going to release
with them.
everything on completely unaffiliated titles.
Just to do something with them, you know? I mean, they're just sitting around in somebody's hard drive, so.
We got a question. Real questions. How does Kino get an audio commentary on all 30 plus releases every month? That's a good point. That is a good point. They do a lot of work. That's got to be a lot of
They
QC.
do. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of somebody that does a lot of work, these guys have not been doing a lot of work.
No.
Fractured Visions has finally emerged from their slumber. April 29th, they're releasing Doberman on Blu-ray in the UK. This one, I believe, was teased from them like a year ago. And then they just went into hibernation, and now they are officially back. We are getting this. It's got a new interview with the director on here. We got a new interview with the cinematographer, new interview with the visual effects artist, new audio commentary with Mike Leader and Arna Venema on Doberman. That's pretty rad. And then we got a video essay by Zoe Rose Smith, and then a newly edited making of doc on this. Doberman, I've not seen in years. Have you seen this one?
No. And I heard this is one of those like Tarantino, like once everybody was really into Pulp Fiction, there was a kind of a wave of like Tarantino ripoffs, which is ironic, but still, it happened. And I saw a lot of them. I've not seen Doberman, and so I looked into this one because I've got a lot of the Fractured Vision stuff, and I really like what they do. I think they do a really good job. And I was like you, going, "Where are they? Did they do?" I thought they'd just given up. A tiny little Welsh label, and they even had like a podcast for a bit.
Yeah,
but that is, I don't think they put out anything on that either. So I'm very curious about this one.
There was nothing on their social media at all since January of 2023. So this is like a big reemergence. And then I believe they are also teasing another Asian release coming up soon. So yeah, hopefully something from that as well. And it's not just one and done for a while. Let's see. Ronnie is asking, I don't think we've had a Kino sale for a while. Anyone know if there's one coming up soon? There absolutely is one coming up soon. Usually they do a November sale and then a December sale, and then they sleep for like 2 months or 2.5 months. I wouldn't be surprised if we had one in March, but more likely is we'll probably get the first one in April if we don't. Yes, John, this will likely be locked Region B.
Yeah. All their other releases were Region B.
Yep. All right. This is not an announcement, but I put up an interview this week with Nico B from Cult Epics. There's not a lot that I can say to prepare people for this interview. I don't know if you watched it, Ryan, but
no, not yet.
This is a wild interview. We discussed some of the short films that he made, including the one with the Roz Williams, who is from Christian Death, and
R.I.P.
The story behind what they did in that short was wild. I mean, we're talking. He tells the story of a fan of Roz's that came and said, "You can do anything to me but kill me."
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
Some weird. I saw not Christian Death, but I saw his next band, Shadow Project. So yeah, I'm very curious about that, and definitely it's some weird fans. Christian Death got a lot of weird fans.
Cult Epics has been around literally for over 30 years. This one is an interesting one. Go check it out if you have not, please. It is wild. I will say this is the first one where the individual could not do video, so it's audio only. I did put some visuals on it, so you had something to look at. But man, recommend this one. I'm normally not so heavy on my stuff, but this is one that you might want to go give a listen to.
No, I'm going to check that out.
Next up, Film Masters, July 23rd, a Blu-ray of The Crippled Masters from 1979 is coming. This is one that has been on, I think it was on TCM last year, and it had a little bit of a reemergence. This is one that was on like late night TV in the 90s all the time. There was an old DVD that a lot of people still have. This is a title that nobody expected this to ever make a reemergence on Blu-ray. And yet here we are, newly restored from original 35 millimeter archival elements. And it is supposedly just going to be the dubbed version. You're not going to get the original Mandarin with subtitles on that. But this one has a commentary by the Important Cinema Club, Mr. Justin DeClue over there. New documentary by Ballyhoo is on this one as well. And then we've got a little booklet that's going to be in this. This release looks great. If you haven't seen the trailer, highly recommend go checking this out.
Yeah, this is a great movie, and it's so wild. And I'm very excited for this one because I did not see this one coming at all. And Film Masters has really been killing it too. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised that they got a hold of this one. I know they usually do more like stuff that is like out of the public or in the public domain, and
Yep.
I'm not sure this is in the public domain, but maybe it is. The version I saw was also it was also dubbed, so I imagine it's the same version, but it looked like hell. So to see this all cleaned up, they do such a good job. I think they do a lot of stuff through UCLA Film Archive, and like they do some incredible. I just saw Will's comment about them having good taste in extras. you guys aren't on this though, right?
Not on this one. We were on the Swiss Conspiracy, and we may or may not be currently working on something else for them.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I'm picking up pretty much everything they're doing because they are.
It's hard
really. They got great stuff. So, and this is a pretty fun movie if you haven't seen it.
Just the trailer alone will probably get you pretty hyped up on it. Sibner is saying, I always hear mixed things about cult epics. Some people really trash the transfers. Others say they're overreacting. Honestly, some of the transfers are not great, but some of them are impeccable. It's one of those labels where they are at the mercy of what they can get their hands on, and they're not doing a ton of restoration work themselves, I don't believe. So the biggest thing, and you'll hear Nico say this in the interview, is he just wants you to be able to see the movie. If that means the elements are trash, at least you'll be able to see the film.
Right.
That's the big thing. Next up, though, oh my God. So April 16th, Universal is putting out Half-Baked Totally High, starring David Koechner, of all people. But man, I got to say, this is a weird thing for me. I posted this announcement. I have had a handful of my post. I hate using this phrase, so nobody roast this, please. Go viral. And on Facebook, this post has had like 350 shares. And I am getting, since we sat down to do this show, what was that number there? I've gotten 43 more comments on this post.
Oh, no.
And I hate to say this, almost every single comment on this is the most vitriolic, hateful, like stoners from 2003 just absolutely pissed that anybody would ruin the reputation of Half-Baked starring Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in the original, so but he's coming in to close out the franchise, and bless him for doing that. This is we're finally going to get the story completed, which I'm excited for.
If you want to laugh and you're on Facebook, please go look up that post and read through some of the comments, because my God, like there are people I've had to delete a couple comments because they were past the borderline of being incredibly inappropriate.
But look at that art. Yeah. This is going to be a winner, guys. Calm down.
Exactly.
This is
they spent at least 12 seconds typing into AI, right?
Yeah, this is going to go really well. There's no way this doesn't succeed.
Anyway,
I had never even heard about this, and I did love the first one. It did hit me at that time. So I mean, Will is also a big fan because he's doing tons of he's quoting the movie. It is a very highly quotable movie, and it's so good. And this just feels like I can't stop laughing from it. I'm still laughing since I've seen this picture. On your announcements, I was like, no, this is such a bad idea. But I don't know. Will I watch it? Probably.
Yeah, that's enough of Half-Baked.
Totally High this time.
May 7th, Kino is releasing Republic Pictures Horror Collection from 1944 to 46. This is going to be HD masters by Paramount Pictures from 4K scans on these. We got one new commentary by Stephen Bissett. We've got a commentary by Tim Lucas on here, and then a new commentary for The Catman of Paris by David Del Valle and Miles Hunter. New commentary for Valley of the Zombies by David Del Valle and Miles Hunter as well. And then some other archival commentaries that were on previous releases of these. Some of these titles, in fact, I if I remember right, I believe all of them have been released previously in the last couple of years, but not in the U.S. So now they are here, and I mean, this looks like a good little collection for Kino. I'm sure this will do very well for them.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of those that I saw and I was like, would I buy this new? I'm not sure. But talk to me when that sale pops up.
Right.
Probably gonna put that in the cart.
Paul says, great films in the Republic Pictures collection. Absolutely loved Catman of Paris and Valley of the Zombies was phenomenal. Tony says, this is going to be a great set, including Catman of Paris that Imprint also put out.
Oh, nice. Yeah. This is, I haven't seen a lot of these, so I'm excited for it.
Next one, May 28th, Metrograph Pictures is going to be putting out The French from 1982. This will be still distributed by Kino, so you should be able to pick this up from their site. This is a documentary. It says William Klein, the legendary American photographer and filmmaker, has put together a body of work as thrillingly eclectic as any living artist. In his 1969 film, Muhammad Ali, The Greatest, Klein found a subject that combined his interest in sport and social criticism, and much the same combination can be seen at work in a very different cultural context in The French. Klein was the first person to be granted full exclusive access to the tournament in its 90-year history, and using that doorway into locker rooms, TV studios, and players' boxes, he shot the ultimate behind-the-scenes look at the 1981 French Open, a crucial moment in a crucial year in the history of a game and its iconic players. Like, I don't love tennis, but this is supposedly incredible. It had rave reviews, sounds amazing. The cover art on this is gorgeous. I kind of feel like I have to see this.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to pick this one up. I was trying to look around and see if I could watch it before the show, but there's nowhere to watch this. So yeah, I'll be grabbing this. This sounds really interesting, and this is like a lot. My dad was really into tennis, and so I watched Wimbledon's every year, and I played a little bit, but I was not that good at it. And I think this will be really interesting. And it's set in a really good time for tennis. So like I'm pretty fascinated by this one. I definitely would pick it up. Again, Kino Lorber.
Always important. Next, July 23rd, Unearthed is releasing Confessions of a Serial Killer, specifically the director's cut. This is the full 107-minute director's cut that is coming to Blu-ray for the first time. This is going to have a commentary with the director of this. There's going to be the Henry Lee Lucas story by author and TV news correspondent James Moore, and then a full-length documentary on Robert A. Burns on this, and the actor Rondo Hatton. Again, very Unearthed style of movie, and it's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I've not seen this, and Unearthed, just like their selections are like fascinating. It's like they're just picking from all over the place. But this feels like in their wheelhouse, so
yeah.
I'm interested.
Yep, it's supposedly again one that's pretty great. I've not seen it. It's from 1985, but it's coming on July 23rd.
And the director's cut, so.
Yep. Speaking of cult epics, we just talked about them. Kind of an interesting box set to put out here, but May 21st, they are releasing a Blu-ray box set, Tinto Brass Volume 2, Maestro of Erotic Cinema. This is going to include Paprika, All Ladies Do It, P.O. Box, Tinto Brass, and Frivolous Lola. Now, the hard part here, 2 of these movies have already been released from Cult Epics on Blu-ray, and 2 of them are about to come out on 4K. So if you have individual titles from any of these, this box set is completely pointless for you. However, if you have none of them, this is going to be a really great, easy purchase because these are decent. If you've got the other stuff from Tinto Brass, this is the way to go here. So, yeah, a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, I've not seen any of these, but that is an interesting choice to then have 4Ks on the way.
Right.
I mean, again, they're not the first company to do this. So,
however, the interesting thing, All Ladies Do It and Frivolous Lola have not been released on Blu-ray in the US at all. So these are coming out on 4K in the next month and a half, and then on Blu-ray. So there you have it.
And he has a movie titled P.O. Box Tinto Brass. Like he put his own name.
Oh yeah,
on the title. Like that's a flex. Good for you, Tinto. Like your Moxie.
It takes some brass balls.
It does.
Going to the next one. June 11th on 4K Steelbook from Cape Light in the US, which is going to be distributed by MPI Media Group. The Last Kumite from 2024, brand new movie. This is going to be a very early 90s style Billy Blanks, Cynthia Rothrock style of movie. And it turns out they're both in it as well as major parts to get you to buy this. Yes, The Last Kumite, it looks very like kickboxer, very blood sport style, just kind of shot very digitally. However, it does. I don't know if you saw. Did you see the trailer for this?
No.
It looks like they may have applied a little bit of a like film filter to make it have that 90s early 90s look.
Okay. Interesting. Do you have to have seen the first Kumite for this to make sense, or
the first 6 actually? This is part 7.
Okay. This is we swear this is the last Kumite.
Yep.
There's been so many Kumites. I've missed a lot of them, so I'm interested in the whole franchise.
I think they might take after the Friday the 13th, and after they do the Last Kumite, next one will be, of course,
they only got 4 more. We got 4 more after the last Kumite.
They'll do like the Kumite 8. I don't know.
Oh man, it writes itself.
Next, May 7th on Blu-ray from Kino, Back from the Dead from 1957, starring the great Peggy Castle. This one has new audio commentary from Tom Weaver, Gary D. Rhodes, and Larry Blamire, and another new audio commentary by David Del Valle and Dana M. Reams. 2 audio commentaries. Somebody said, how do they keep up with 30? And yet this movie gets 2. They're just doing so many.
Tom Weaver too. Like I may be bringing him up when we get to the Kino disc. His commentaries are just their music. They're fantastic. They are like they are wall to wall. There's no breaks. He is so well prepared. The movie itself is okay. It's kind of noirish. A lot of sets, a little bit outside, and then a lot of sets. It's about a woman who a man remarries his new wife. Suddenly the spirit of his previous wife, who has passed away under mysterious circumstances, I guess possesses his new wife. Very interesting. And it was written by a woman, and I feel like she definitely had something to say about the patriarchy and how women are treated in society, and certainly interesting from that perspective, but very much interested in this one because of the Tom Weaver commentary.
Yeah, this should be a pretty great release. And once again, the cover art the Kino's been getting, it's not like striking, catch your eye necessarily, but you take a moment to look at it, and so much of their art lately has just been, that's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Next up is another Kino, I believe. Yeah, May 21st, they are releasing Slam. This is from 1988. I have never seen this one, but it sounds pretty damn good.
Yep.
Have you seen this one?
No, I have not seen it. I have heard of it, but I have not seen it.
So this is starring Saul Williams, Sonia Sohn, and Bones Malone. Slam is a powerful work of cinema verite that portrays the story of a young black performance poet, Raymond Joshua, who is arrested and imprisoned for a petty marijuana charge in Washington, D.C. jail. Although the confining prison walls do little to shield him from danger, it is within those walls that Raymond establishes his identity, strength, and voice, and meets a prison gang leader and a prison writing teacher, Lauren Bell. Bell inspires Raymond to use the power of creative expression to free himself from the struggles and demise of the black male as another victim of the judicial system. Sublime poetry and heart-wrenching realism, Slam is itself a testament to the importance and the impact of artistic expression. And then on top of that, we got an audio commentary from the director and the star, Bones Malone. Like, that's pretty rad.
I mean, the amount of stuff from Kino. I mean, not to jump to where we're going to get our discussion later, but just what they're putting out this month. From all over the place. It is so cool. The variety that they're putting out it's unreal.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's too much to cover because we're not even done. The next Kino title, May 28th on Blu-ray, Arthur Dong's Asian American Stories, including Hollywood Chinese, Forbidden City, USA, and The Killing Fields of Dr. Heng S. Nagor. We got alternate Khmer audio for the Killing Fields release, but other than that, This is just cobble together a box set from these so that they can put them all in there. And they didn't get many new extras, but yeah, this is one of those releases that is super important. Nobody else would have released this, and yet Kino is ringing the bell for all kinds of stuff for physical media.
Yeah, this looks cool too.
Next up is one that excited me more than almost anything this week. June 25th, Altered Innocence is releasing Ozone's Transgressive Triple. This is going to be available from Diabolic DVD right now with an exclusive slipcover, or you can get it widely through MVD anywhere else. This is a look at the exclusive slipcover on here, and these just sound incredible. I'm not sure how I missed these. A lot of people seem to have seen these before, but just the way that they describe this, it says kink, murder, incest, and cannibalism. So that was a weird word. These are just a few of Francois.
Multiple cannibalisms.
Yeah, roast me in the chat for that one for sure. These are just a few of Francois Ozone's favorite things in his early features. Ozone has built a vast and versatile body of work, and while he may have gained the spotlight after the critically acclaimed and elegantly subtle Under the Sand from 2000, this collection rediscovers Ozone's brash roots with a trilogy like no other, and we're getting all kinds of special features. We're getting visual essays. We're getting one including Kat Ellinger on there. We're getting commentary. We're getting new interviews. This sounds magnificent.
Wild. Yeah, I don't know a lot of Ozone stuff, so this sounds like the release to try to, if you don't know him, or if you do, to pick up.
Yes. And on that note, I know that I just teased one interview about Jim O'Hare coming on in 2 weeks. Literally next Monday, dropping on the channel. I finally got Altered Innocence, so you can hear from the man himself, Frank Jaffe. We are discussing Ozone's Transgressive Triple and his move away from OCN and the history behind the label, what he loves in film. It's a really fun interview, and Frank is just passionate beyond belief. So if you are a fan of Altered Innocence or just excited to learn about them, it's one of the ones that I've felt afterwards like, I'm so glad that I can share this individual's passion with the people that will potentially buy their discs, because, man, he comes through for everything. I've been trying to get Frank for like 2 years. He is just an incredibly busy person, but you'll see, again, just every single word that comes out of his mouth, you're going to love it. Altered Innocence is one to watch in the immediate future.
Yeah, I'm very curious for that interview, and I'm interested for so many people that have been leaving OCN. Like, I'm just curious about that. Just not like for any sort of dramatic reason or anything. It just feels like it's interesting to me to see why people are like get in there with him and then kind of walk away. And so I don't know. Just I'm very curious to hear what he says about that. So,
yep, I hear you. Next up, not really a conventional announcement, but Walmart is putting out re-releases of Mondo X Steelbooks. We got 4 of them: the Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Avengers. These were all released in the UK and Germany previously, and now they're coming out in the US out of nowhere at Walmart. Now, the funny thing is the press release said you'll be able to pre-order these, or actually it says these will be available on March 13th. It's now March 14th, and they don't exist. They're not anywhere. You can't see them online. You can't go into any store and get them. I found out from somebody that they messaged Walmart and said, I want to buy these. And the chat representative of Walmart, first off, they have no idea about these titles, so this response is hilarious. But they said, though it got lost on the website, and it will be available at the end of March, the beginning of April, or maybe in May.
So at some point. Okay.
I mean, that is like that is the epitome of Walmart right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm glad they've taken over for Best Buy. This is all going well.
I will say these steelbooks are gorgeous in hand. Specifically, the Doctor Strange one is amazing to get this super old comic style. Yeah, it is beautiful to see. I think these were all in my Mondo video that I put out like a year ago. Go check that out if you haven't. I've got that in on the channel already. But yeah, let's go to the next one.
They look amazing.
Or not.
But even if I wanted to get them,
you can't. Let's talk about Umbrella. We got
Yeah.
our second announcement of the Raid on 4K. All of these Umbrella titles are coming out on July 3rd in Australia. So the Raid 4K, we are getting the original Raid in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Now, again, Umbrella did not do their own restoration on this. This is the
Right.
exact same restoration as the Steelbook that came out in the US, and you're not going to get anything special necessarily if you're just looking for the film itself. So don't feel like you have to get this. There is a standard version available, but if you want to go all out because you love the Raid, which I know many people do, they are giving you some options here. So you've got the original Raid film, of course. You've got the original Titan graphic novel in a hardback release, a softback book with a new Q&A with Gareth Evans in it, behind the scenes experiences and art, a custom artwork outer rigid slipcase, custom artwork slipcase inside of that, 8 art cards, a reversible poster, and then it's numbered. And again, all out on this. You've got 2 different books. This is going to be a giant release. Yeah, if you love the Raid, like, this is a great looking release. I will warn everybody though, this is the Raid, and it has been exploited on physical media. There is likely going to be about 14 releases of this movie over the next 3 years. If you love Departed, or I was reading Def Crocodile's chat there. If you love the Raid and you really want this, or you're going to get multiples, go for it. However, there's already rumors that Second Sight may have this in the UK. I'm not saying they do. I've heard that they might. We already got the Steelbook from Sony in the US. We're probably going to get some other US boutique release of this eventually. There's just so much for this.
Yeah. I'm on the fence about it. I saw it and put it in the cart, but I'm like, the graphic novel could be cool. Like, the booklet, I'm sure, is awesome. I love the box, but I mean, I do already have the Blu-ray of both the Raid movies.
Yep.
Do I want to just spend $70 on just the one movie with tons of extra stuff when, like you said, somebody else is going to pick this up and do this probably domestically in some way? So I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Right.
And yeah, where's Raid 2?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question.
Because that'll be next, and then somebody will then put them together, and these are the orders that will, and they'll do the deluxe.
By 2028, you'll have about 47 options.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, do I do this now, or do I just hold off and wait and see what comes? As much as I love those 8 art cards, those would be great, but
I have enough art cards.
I can put those next to these condoms, and right there on my shelves.
Oh man,
they look great. But yeah, I'm a little like, and I don't even mind that it's not even like a brand new scan. At least they're a forward about that on Umbrella. But,
yeah,
and I order from Umbrella a lot. I really like them, but I'm just, it's the Raid. I don't know.
Right.
I love the movies, but I don't know.
Well, next up from them is one of my favorites. We've got the Lucio Fulci title, A Lizard in a Woman's Skin from 1971. This is coming on Blu-ray, not 4K. This is different from the previous US release, so you may want to listen up for a moment.
Okay.
If you've never seen this movie's amazing.
Fantastic.
This is top tier Fulci, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I was just about to say that. This is top tier.
And in fact, this is easily, well, maybe I shouldn't say the word easily. This is definitely top 5. And depending on the day, I've had this at top 1 quite a bit. Top 1.
It's such a wild and beautiful movie. And this shows like the style that Fulci could really command and pull off that he doesn't always get the chance to do. But my God, this is such a good movie. Beautifully shot. It's a really good film.
So this one, we've got a 48-page book featuring essays from Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Kit Garvin. We've got a rigid slipcase and then the original poster art slipcase, 8 art cards, a reversible poster, numbered release. It's Umbrella. That's like the baseline nowadays, it seems like, for them.
Yeah.
And then we got a new feature-length audio commentary with Howard S. Berger and Troy Howarth. It's their first commentary together. 2 of my buds on the commentary together for the first time. Loving that. And Howard, if you love Howard S. Berger, he is all over this disc. So we got that commentary. He also did a video essay for Lucio in a Woman's Skin is what it's called. He is part of the Flying Machiste brothers. And then he also did another visual essay called One, No One, and 100 Fulcis. And he did this with Francesco Massachesi And then Kim Newman speaks on Stanley Baker on this as well. There's some archival items on this, and then a Lucio Fulci trailer reel. But the big thing that I didn't know, that Umbrella is not like advertising for some reason. The previous release of this that came out in the US, for those that don't know, Mondo Macabro released this on Blu-ray. It is now out of print, fully out of print, I believe. I found out in their comments when they were hyping this up that this is the Mondo Macabro release was a cut version, and this is uncut.
Oh.
I don't know how much longer it is, but it is at least a little bit longer. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be a US release. Mondo could announce that next week on 4K as part of their announcements. Arrow could pick it up. I don't see Shout Factory selling something like this. Severin could technically put it out. That wouldn't surprise me at all. They love Fulci.
I would love it if Shout Factory put this out. That would be incredible. I would love it if they
Can you
suddenly picked
imagine
this one up.
all
No,
of the
I could not.
complaints, all of the complaints about Shout Factory for 2 years, and all of a sudden they're like, "Here's a 4K release of Lizard in a Woman's Skin with brand new extras."
Right. In a regular Blu-ray or Steelbook. Like it,
with 5 lobby cards, and it'll only cost you
They-
$90.
they would need to release it on Blu-ray first, so we know it's not going to be them because they need to do it a Blu-ray and then back it up 3 months later with a 4K. So
Yeah, so I'm not saying it's coming out in the US. I don't know anything about that at all. I'm not teasing anything or anything like that. This is one of those titles though that Fulci sells well.
it's a site exclusive, Christopher says.
Limited to 1,843 copies.
Until we just happen to find more. I just don't know how that happened. We just happened to find another 1,000. I don't know how we pulled that off.
It sold out the first 4 hours, so somehow we found 3,609 of them
Right.
in the
that
warehouse.
box in the corner of the room. I didn't realize there was another box full of more of these. It's so crazy.
So Lizard and Woman's Skin, highly recommend the movie. If you don't have it, this is not a bad release to get. Not going to say you shouldn't get this. There's a standard release. You can get the standard at Orbit, at Diabolic, at Atomic, at all these places in the US. But if you want to hold out, I don't necessarily fault you for that. I would not be surprised if this was released by another boutique, whether it's in the US or the UK, in the next 18 months. Because I don't think there's any other release of this in print at the moment. I may be wrong there. Somebody can fact check me, please. But I think everything on Lizard and Woman's Skin is currently out of print, which sucks for accessibility.
Yeah, I mean for that commentary, like this one is piquing my interest just for that commentary alone. So,
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it will get a US release, and if they don't like port that over for the US release, like I imagine that might happen. So I'm on the fence. But this looks awesome, and it's a great movie.
It's an incredible movie. And then beyond all of that, I will just say, I know that it's going to come across as biased no matter how I say it. Howard S. Berger, having been on the channel before, been a friend, he is a great person. His visual essays are next level. I watched, maybe I shouldn't say much. I watched 2 visual essays for an upcoming Arrow release that hasn't been announced yet that he worked on.
Mm-hmm.
My God, people, if you are not watching his visual essays, he puts in so much work. What he turns in is basically full-blown professional level documentaries, and it is absolutely worth it sometimes just to check out his work. And Cinema Jimbo calls out, use Serial at Midnight. I'm going to promote his channel, I guess. Serial 15 on the Umbrella site gets a 15% off discount right now.
Every little bit helps. It's $140 threshold to get free shipping. So
last thing on
to the US, I should say.
Yeah, that's true. Unless I think it's $150 for free shipping. So just buy a lot and you'll be fine.
I can send it to my PO box in Australia, but then I have to get the PO box. Is real. That's
then you got to fly to Australia.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Chris brings up, I honestly have to say Umbrella transfers are not the best, but they have some stellar packaging. Reminder that they don't do most of their transfers.
No.
They are just given stuff from the studios unless it's an Aussie title. Those are genuinely in-house restorations. And then those they advertise like crazy that those are brand new restorations. They're super proud of them. But like this, we're not getting any info on the restoration, probably for a reason. It probably was just handed to them and they don't have any stake in it. But speaking of them doing restorations, the last of the month is this incredible looking Ozploitation Rarities Volume 1. So this is going to include Lady Stay Dead, Final Cut and Crosstalk. Lady Stay Dead came out previously. I think it was Code Red.
Was it? I don't. Maybe.
Anyways, Lady Stay Dead had a U.S. release previously, but this looks great. And the big thing, they are advertising 3 brand new restorations of lost and overlooked Aussie thrillers slathered in sleaze. And on these, we got a bunch of extras, brand new extras on every single disc. Lots of stuff with the Not Quite Hollywood documentary, of course. Code Red put it out. Thanks, Paul.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah, Sibner's right. I could see Vinegar Syndrome putting out a deluxe version of Lizard and Woman's Skin. Not going to argue with that. It's very possible.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they've done a Fulci yet at all. Not that I'm sure they're not against it at all. I just
sure.
Usually with Fulci stuff, the licensing is like in bundles, and so I don't know who else has those right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Severin kept a hold of them. Although maybe Cauldron too. I forgot about Cauldron. They just did the Fulci made for TV stuff,
right? And City of the Living Dead. They did that, which blew up. Everybody. I mean, I grabbed it. I only own it. It's now my 3rd copy of that movie, but
Man, yeah, so this looks like a pretty great release. Tons of extras on this, and if you've never seen them, the ones I have seen on here, especially Lady Stay Dead, these are pretty interesting, fun, good movies. Fun is probably an odd word to use. These are pretty sleazy.
They're pretty dark.
Yeah,
they're pretty dark. I've only watched 2 out of the 3. I watched Crosstalk too, which is a sort of Rear Window kind of updated for the 1980s and a AI security system. And it kind of ends as it's just kind of getting going, unfortunately. But like they're both that and Lady Stay Dead, which I've also seen. Yeah, those are both like they're pretty solid. They're pretty decent movies. So I'm very curious about this one. I certainly grabbed it right away, and now I'm like thinking about it. But did you say like whether or not these are their transfers?
These are all brand new restorations. Yes, all 3.
That's the thing. Like the versions I've seen of these have all been pretty mediocre transfers. So to kind of see them in a better light, I'm very interested. But I haven't seen the other one, the 3rd film. But
and Final Cut's supposed to be great. Let's see. Even in the chat, Dallas says Final Cut is so wild, worth the price of the set just for that one movie.
Okay, good to know.
And like Paul said, the big thing that caught my eye is this is Ozploitation Volume 1. They are clearly planning on doing more of these. Ozploitation Rarities Volume 1. Yeah, this is rad.
This is kind of Umbrella, I feel like, stepping up. You know what I mean? This, because they have that reputation, not really getting new transfers. This is them saying, okay, we hear that. We're going to start doing and doing it with Ozploitation. This is perfect. It's a perfect label to do this.
Exactly.
So I'm kind of excited for this release because I really like Umbrella. But this looks rad.
Yep. Next up, VCI, the incredibly high quality VCI is
speaking of quality.
Street Scene from 1931 on Blu-ray. This is coming on July 9th. This part says, the film's restoration allows us to fully experience the power of Street Scene, seeing and hearing in vivid clarity as Anna Morant, her daughter Rose, and neighbor Sam Kaplan open their hearts and crash against the limitations of their environment. This is supposedly great, but again, it's VCI. Kind of hard to trust on the surface.
I mean, they really worked hard on this cover art. So, I mean, I'll hand it to they're clearly working hard behind the scenes.
I mean, you did have to pause it on a scene that wasn't blurry before you got the screenshot.
I mean, and you would look at this shot and you're like, I'm curious. If you haven't seen it before, you're like, what's happening here? What are they looking at? I got to know.
What is the scene happening on the street? Right. All I can see is the backdrop.
Are they looking at the street? What's happening? What's the scene on the street that they're looking at? I got to check it out. I don't know. I got to know. Curiosity peaked. Well done, VCI.
Next up, speaking of Shout Factory site exclusives, The Crow Salvation from 2000, starring
Fantastic.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten
is
Dunst.
is
Oh,
available now, limited to 1,620 units. This has tons of bonus features on it, surprisingly.
yeah.
We've got an audio commentary with a handful of people. We've got a couple behind the scenes featurettes, production design featurettes, a feature called Who's That Bird? No idea what it is. Image gallery and trailer. However,
I bet it's a crow. Just a
uh,
guess, but
none of these are brand new features, of course. These are all archival from the DVD. And of course, they're not advertising the scan on this because I have a feeling the scan is archived from the DVD as well.
yeah.
I would not expect this to look good at all.
Yeah, and you can get the DVD set of all three. I mean, if you want to
Right.
do that, I mean, that's out there. Go on
And
eBay.
and
You
it'll
can grab
cost
it.
less than this one release.
Yeah, this is baffling, this choice.
This is a $30 side exclusive that if you're just stoked that The Crow is coming on 4K and you want to buy this to complement it, $30 and $8 shipping. $8 media mail shipping for The Crow Salvation starring Kirsten Dunst.
I mean, you got to complete your Kirsten Dunst collection. I mean, you gotta get them all, you know. So sometimes you got to pay $38 to get the Crow Salvation. It's I don't know what Shout is doing. They're a delight to me every month. I don't know what they're up to. What are you doing, guys? I'm so curious, and I have to buy tons of their stuff because they have the whole Corman library. So I'm at their mercy.
And so many of those are side exclusives.
Yes, yeah.
Oh man, anyways, I don't want to hammer on them more. However, there is one more title, so let's hammer a little more. Hey, Treat
Venomous.
Williams died. Let's put out Venomous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one also exclusive to the site. 1,620. I guess that's the new 1,500. Bonus features on this is it has audio, and there's an audio commentary with Fred Olen Ray.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm surprised that MakeFlix missed out on this one. They seem to be all over the Fred Olen Ray stuff. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Probably not, Shout Factory. Probably not. I don't think you got me on this one. And I love Tree Williams. I love stupid snake movies. I don't know about this one, guys.
I feel bad just constantly laying into them, but also you're kind of begging for it.
I mean, also these are your two releases. It isn't like they have some other one where you're like, and also this terrific movie that we're also putting out, but also these other ones, which you might think like to avoid the $8 shipping and get yourself to the $50 and get free shipping. Maybe I'll throw one of these in there. You know what I mean? But they don't. You would have to buy both Venomous and the Crow Salvation to get yourself. And I don't know. Somebody might do that, and bless you if that's who you are. And that's great. Enjoy those movies. But I don't know. And I feel like I'm the target market for Venomous.
It was made for you.
It's like these kinds of movies are my jam. I love this stuff, but I'm like, I don't know about this, guys. I don't know.
Well, we got 8 more to cover, and those were all announced today, so the last day worth of announcements. First, we got some stuff announced from Indicator. These first 3 that we're going to talk about are coming on June 17th in the UK and June 18th in the US and Canada. The last one is a UK-only title. This first one here is Tomorrow We Live from 1942. This was released as At Dawn We Die in the US. Very juxtaposing titles there. Kind of odd. Tomorrow We Live, At Dawn We Die. Which is it? This has, again, as usual with Indicator, tons of new bonus features. We got an audio commentary with Josephine Botting and Robert Murphy. We've got Pamela Hutchinson speaking on Greta Gint. We've got an interview with Roy Douglas from 2005, some image galleries, new subs, and then, of course, limited booklet with some writing that is new, and then some archival writing as well. Lots of stuff coming into this. Indicator is just great.
Yeah, I don't think they don't put out bad movies. Not at all. Now, had they put out Venomous, I'd be very curious. I mean, would they go for that? I mean,
Will they have kept the original poster art on the hard box design that they made?
I want to know, when is their Fred Olen Ray box set? I'm curious. Get on an indicator. Let's do it.
It'll be a partnership with MakeFlix in the UK.
I'm all
Next up,
for it. I'm all for it.
The Shop at Sly Corner from 1947. Once again, lots of new bonus features. We got a commentary with Josephine Botting and Fung Lee on this one. We've got Jonathan Rigby speaking on Oscar Homolka. We've got a 2009 conversation with Muriel Pavlo, and then some other image galleries and booklet and such like that. I know nothing about these 4 titles they announced, by the way.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither. But I mean, I'm curious. But I have no idea. I've not seen them. So
once again, though, the art looks incredible on all 4. Next up is Obsession with Robert Newton and Sally Gray. This one is from 1949. Again, UK and US release on these 3 that we just talked about. This one has a brand new audio commentary. It's got an archival audio recording of the director of this in conversation with John Baxter. We've got Richard Dyer speaking on Obsession, some more interviews from 1988, and then a booklet as usual. This one is Finson McDonough and archival articles on Edward Dmytrik's period in Britain. I mean, so much that you can say for all of these releases. It's exactly what you expect from Indicator. Yeah. So consistent.
Yeah, just totally solid.
And the last title, which again, this one is exclusive to the UK only. We get The Whole Truth from 1958. This one's got some names in it. We got Stuart Granger, George Sanders, Donna Reed. This one has an audio commentary with Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby on this. We've got Robert Shale speaking on The Whole Truth. And then image galleries and audio recordings and limited edition booklet, just like everything else. This one has new writing with Barry Forshaw. Indicator. I mean, yeah. What else could be said?
Yeah, they just kill it. It's impressive.
Then, May 21st, MPI Media Group is releasing the newest Woody Allen film.
Yeah. Still making movies.
Surprisingly, this got pretty great reviews. This one is called Coup de Chance, also known as Stroke of Luck. Supposed to be a decent thriller. It's
a thriller.
By Woody Allen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Crimes and Misdemeanors maybe from him.
Yeah.
He loves to repeat himself, particularly in his older age. Looks like we got. Yeah, he I haven't seen one of his movies in a long time, but
me neither. By choice.
Yes, yeah. I was a huge Woody Allen fan, and then just I was really into him, and then now I'm just absolutely the other way around. So now I don't want anything to do with him. And this one looks a little creepy for a Woody Allen film to have that guy in the back just kind of looking at these 2 young. I'm like, this is and a thriller, and it's Woody Allen. I don't know.
Move in right along. Something more tasteful. Barbed Wire from 1996.
Now you got me.
A 4K.
Where's my wallet?
Turbine releasing Barbed Wire on 4K literally next week. This is coming in 2 steelbooks. It's got 2 different full slip art options. You can go with the classic art or this interesting newer art. And this is a brand new 4K restoration from the original negative with HDR and Dolby Vision. The unrated version is on the Blu-ray, not 4K, but at least you got both versions in this. And then there's new interviews with the producer, Todd Moyer, from the costume designer, the effects supervisor, and then, of course, the classics extras on these, the sexy outtakes, the making of, some promo featurettes, some trailers. Lots on here. This is English friendly. English subs abound on some of the features and on the commentary. Not the commentary, sorry, the actual feature itself. Art looks fun on this, but it's barbed wire.
It's barbed wire. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right on the shelf next to Blood Rain. This is
barbed in wire movies that are shocking that they're in 4K.
Yep. Get the Steelbook. I mean, I don't know. I could. I'm probably in on this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, if you are in on this one, check out brotherbelial.com. They get all kinds of the German releases in. They do incredible work to ship it to you very safely. Friend of mine owns the website. He is amazing at what he does. Trust them if you trust me. brotherbelial.com. Next title is one that we have been waiting on for like a year now, that got teased last year super early. You can order Darren Aronofsky's Pi on 4K and Blu-ray from A24 right now. Now, the big thing is a lot of us get the A24 emails, and when they sent you the email, very, very slyly, the email had a link to the release of the film and a book, and they didn't really show you that it was two things together or push that narrative too much. It was buy the film, and you click on it, and it's $58. And you go and you search up the film on their website, and it comes out. You can get the 4K for only $35. So if you don't need that book, it's a surprisingly fair priced 4K release from A24 for what is, not even arguably an incredible film.
Yeah.
This is going to have two commentaries, both recorded in 1998. It's got some behind the scenes footage, deleted scenes, music video for Clint Mansell's original score, the 1998 Sundance Film Festival directing award acceptance speech, and that's it. But it's got a booklet in there. It's a very A24 release. Looks like a solid release. Have you seen Pi, Chad?
Chad, I have. Yeah, I saw Pi back in the day. I still remember the trailers for it, seeing it and being like, ooh, this whole black and white number. And this is the first movie I ever saw from him. And so and was very taken with it. I thought it was really good. It's a really good movie. I'm like baffled. I'm like, how did A24 get the rights to this? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they picked it up early last year just for distribution, showed it in theaters, kind of like
okay.
Kind of like what they just did for the Talking Heads. So
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I just missed that part of it. But yeah, this is, for Aronofsky fans, this is certainly a good one to see. Still visually really interesting, even in black and white. It's a great movie. I mean, yeah, it's worth checking out.
Beyond that, super smart to release it on Pi Day. Like, we should have seen that coming months ago.
Sure.
All right.
And of course, having a link and then you have to go somewhere else, and it's like this. That makes perfect sense with the movie itself. So
it's a mathematical equation.
Yeah, they've done a really good job.
And finally, May 14th, Kino is releasing The Lawyer from 1970. This is a Sidney J. Furie film, which was in the imprint box set of Sidney J. Furie films, which I'm so stoked they're releasing this, because I did not pick up the Sidney J. Furie box set from imprint.
Same.
And I really wanted it. Yes.
Me too. And I was like, I feel like these are going to be released stateside, because some of them already had. So I was like, I got it. And so awesome. This is great.
I looked at the box set and said, I really want it. I also really want to pay my mortgage. Unfortunately, mortgage won. And
stupid banks. The banks are the worst.
I'm glad I'll be able to get this for like $12 rather than the box set being $145 or whatever it was.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
But I was going to buy it.
Thankfully, they ported over most of Daniel Kramer's. In fact, I think they did all for this release that was on this disc. So I'm hoping they get some of the others that they had in this box set. I would love to get it, because, again, Daniel Kramer is the Sidney J. Furie man. He's literally written the book on Sidney J. Furie, close friends with the man. The bonus features on this are supposed to be remarkable. Cannot wait to check this out. I'm so stoked that we are getting some of these in the U.S.
Yeah, and it makes sense that it would be Kino, because they'd released some of his stuff in the past. So
that, and they've released some of the imprint stuff, a lot of the imprint stuff, actually. They are kind of the go-to for imprint re-releases in the US.
Right.
As usual, after announcements, we go into what's coming out next week. So let's cover real quick.
Ooh, okay.
TerraVision titles should be in. These were just announced about 2.5 weeks ago, and these should all be arriving at TerraVision headquarters in the next 10 days. We got River from 2023, which we are on a visual essay for this. We've got Door 2, which Will is on an audio commentary for this with Nina K. Martin, and also did a visual essay on this. And then President's Day comes out as well. And then Dreamstalker, we are on that for a visual essay that was done by Erica and Lance from Unsung Horrors. And it is fantastic. One of the favorite things that we've produced so far.
Interesting cover art.
Yeah, it's a fever dream haze. I'm not sure. It was an abstract choice, but it works out.
Yeah, no, it's well done.
Next, that was this is in the next few days, but next Tuesday specifically, the Ring Collection 4K from Scream Factory, K19 the Widowmaker 4K from Shout Select. That's still such an odd choice.
Such a weird choice.
The Manchurian Candidate
Oh,
4K from Kino,
the remake.
yeah, of course. Child's Play 4K, Carrie 4K, both remakes. Changing Lanes 4K from Kino, Dark Water 4K from Arrow, Witness 4K getting a standard release from Arrow, Rent a Cop with Burt Lancaster from
Burt Reynolds.
Or why'd I say Burt Lancaster?
I would love to
Oh,
see Burt
God.
Lancaster and
Not
Liza
in
Minnelli.
1988, maybe.
I mean, I'm not sure I want to see. I mean, you can make an argument against Burt Reynolds in 1988, but I have almost bought Rent a Cop several times in advance of this release, but I also have seen it, so I'm like, that's what keeps getting me. Like, I'm gonna wait for the sale. I normally pick up anything Burt, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait for a sale on that one.
Thanks for that, Dustin. I know you had to rub that in. Target from Kino as well. Lynch Oz is coming from Janus Contemporary. Suits the complete series. The Runner from Criterion. The Act. I know a lot of people were talking about this one. I still need to see that. Blazing Saddles, nothing new. It's just a re-release of the disc. The Soldier's Tale from Kino Classics. We just talked about that one recently. Driving Madeline from Cohen Media Group. And Shadow Magic from Sony Pictures Classics. Any of these that you are after already pre-ordered or even already got in?
I'm definitely gonna. I haven't gotten my release of the first door, and I know it doesn't matter, but to door 2. But I'm gonna probably pick up River and door 2. And I mean, I'm probably gonna need to get K19 the Widowmaker to go along with Venomous and just kind of have those at home. No, but those are the ones I'm definitely going to be picking up of these releases. Yeah. I don't think any, and I will be picking up Rent a Cop eventually.
Eric has said, "I want the Ring, just don't want Ring 2 or 3." I think most people are in that same boat.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Not a surprise there. Yeah. Next week is, I mean, there's a lot of decent titles. The TerraVision slate is a really solid slate. Can't wait for people to get those in hand. I can't wait to get those in hand. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know why I haven't gotten the first door though. Didn't they release that one already? I ordered it with something else, like one of their.
Did you get Game of Killers? Maybe.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what's on hold, right?
That's what's on hold, and it's about to. I think that one's supposed to ship this, like next Monday or Tuesday. I think it's supposed to come in.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. You want to blaze through some Kino titles?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
40 minutes before the announcement drops.
We're gonna go fast. I think all 5 of mine are in print still. If they're not, I apologize. I did not have time to check. I think they are. This first one might not be, so I'll just lead with it just in case, and I'll go first so you don't have the pressure.
No worries.
Revisited recently, Trilogy of Terror. This is a masterpiece, and I don't understand how this is not lauded more in every single circle under the sun. Karen Black is creepy beyond belief in this, and I know people see this and all they think of is what do they call it, the doll, the Zuni fetish doll. I never remember the word Zuni. That's good. It's not even the best segment of this anthology. The first one in this is beyond creepy, especially with the 2024 lens, and Karen Black is remarkable in this.
She's very good in it. Yeah.
I love anthology horror. I just did a audio podcast recording of an anthology horror episode, and this has multiple brand new things on here. We got a new audio commentary with Richard Harlan Smith. That's pretty good. There's a new interview with the composer in this, which is pretty good. And then there's a bunch of archival features. This disc is really great. And when it first came out, I don't even remember. I think that was like 2021 or 2020 that it came out. You could get this thing for like $13 on release, and so many people just overlooked it because it was made for TV horror anthology.
Yeah,
it is so worth it.
Definitely, yeah. I remember seeing it on TV.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm going with like I said, I was really into Hong Kong action movies and stuff. So when I had a chance to see my first John Woo in the theater, I definitely took it with Hard Target. And
nice.
been a huge fan of this one forever, and this disc is fantastic. It's got audio commentary. It's got I've watched the interviews. Like, this is just a great release, really fun. I love this movie. I think it's probably the best. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this one, but this is maybe my favorite Woo stateside. I know everybody loves Face Off. There's plenty to love in Face Off. I do too. I can never get over the fact that John Travolta does this to his child, and that's like a loving gesture. I just, from the minute I saw it, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. No one does that. Not a single person ever on earth has ever done that. And so I love I love Hard Target. It's got so many great things in it. I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme surfs a motorcycle and on a bridge, and it's got great villains. It's just an awesome film. Love it.
It's a good choice, and really great release. Looks good. For those that didn't know, I know it was I think we talked about it plenty on the show when it came out, but Hard Target did have a replacement disc if you got that first wave, so you want to make sure you got the right disc on that. But still a solid disc, solid release, looks great, and it's at this point it's like essential Kino.
Yeah.
One I in my 5 that I'm recommending, I had to do one 4K because they've been killing it with the 4K releases.
Sure.
And I've got all 3 of my honorable mentions that I grabbed are 4Ks, but again, a lot of the 4Ks are it's a new 4K transfer, but it's not not really any new features unless it's one that they're really promoting. Like Kindergarten Cop got 2 new commentaries or whatever. This one is nothing new, but all the special features on here are really good, and it is an incredible movie that is I feel like completely slept on in the Kino catalog. And that's the fact that they put it out of sight on 4K. I am somebody that worships at the Church of Soderbergh as often as I can. And this movie has incredible performances from George Clooney at like the height of his, I'm about to be the Hollywood star. And then, I mean, Ving Rhames, Don Cheadle, it's a Soderbergh film. So he kind of just grabs all of his friends, and this movie's incredible. If you've never seen it, this is one that absolutely should be got. And now during a sale, it's like $14-15 for a 4K release of one of the best movies of the, what year was this? 98? Yeah, 98.
Yeah, it's a great call. That it's a terrific Elmore Leonard adaptation. Probably one of the better ones that were ever made. It's excellent. I think Scott Frank is the one who wrote the script and did the adaptation. Is on the and it's a great commentary between him and Soderbergh.
Yep.
I was in on Soderbergh on Sex, Lies, and Videotape. I rented that at the time, and I bought I have his book, which he has like a diary of taking the film around and the script.
Yep.
And from then in, I was all in. I saw all the movies in the theater, Kafka, King of the Hill. I was like me and a girl I was dating and 2 other people. And we, so I've been in on Soderbergh, and this one was just him going so next level.
Yeah.
Even after The Underneath, which I think really showed some of that style, this one was like, he had arrived. And that's a great call. I love that movie. And I pre-ordered that out of sight because I was like, hell yes. It's a great one.
If you had to guess, how many times do you think he's going to retire from filmmaking?
I think he's got another couple in him. You know what I mean? I think he's, I do understand, like, he is so good at what he does that he's kind of bored and he doesn't know how to keep challenging himself. And I totally understand that. But because he can make a really good movie and it's like, it doesn't do anything. And so him, like, then shooting other people's movies and just being a DP, he's just trying to like mix it up and make it interesting.
I just love that he retired, and we've gotten, I think, 8 movies since he retired.
I mean, yeah. And then he started doing TV, and then he came back into movies.
Right.
So it was like, okay.
All right, my friend, what do you got for your second pick?
Well, you want to keep it on the 4Ks, and I said I was going to bring up Tom Weaver, Night of the Hunter. This is like quintessential. So I went from Hard Target to Night of the Hunter. So, but this is a movie that I honestly had heard about and I had never seen until I got this release. I had never seen it. I don't know why. I don't know how.
What a mind-blowing way to watch it for the first time.
And it is a beautiful transfer. it's just an unbelievable film. Robert Mitchum is next level in it. Shelley Winters. I mean, there was definitely me watching it going, oh, sure, I've seen all these images, like the one of Shelley Winters under the water. I was like, no, okay, yeah, I'm an idiot. It's taken me this long to get to it, but what an awesome release to have to watch it. So that at the very least, if it took this long, because I would have probably seen it on VHS, which wouldn't have looked this good, and I wouldn't have gotten the commentary with Tom Weaver, which is tremendous. So awesome, excellent film. Right next to Hard Target in terms of your essential
As
viewing.
it deserves to be. I mean, both of them are essential.
That's the thing about Kino. Like they spread they release everything from all different genres, and they go so far and wide. You can get all these different movies. I mean, that's why I wanted to highlight them, because they just, it's almost like they're almost easy to overlook because they're just so consistent, and they put out so many different movies. But like, I probably have more Kinos than any other label,
Yeah, I think most people actually would probably be able to say that. I'm an idiot who has a complete Vinegar Syndrome collection, so that's not quite true for me. But I'm
getting close. I've gotten close. I've only been a subscriber for like 3 years now, but so there's a lot of the early ones I don't have. But
I mean, I have so many Kinos, they are stacked on top of my Kino collection, and I'm worried about them falling one of these days.
Yes.
And the hard part is they put on a sale, and it's $50 free shipping. And just to get free shipping, you have like 8 titles. And it's like, how do I have 8 titles? I've only spent $53. And suddenly you have another shelf to fill with Kinos out of 2 sales.
Yeah. Those sales are, I mean, you end up with so much.
Yeah. Real quick too. Yes. Supposedly Soderbergh is working on a box set of his own stuff that's supposed to be coming. That's been hinted at for like 1.5 years now. So
yeah, I'd be curious. And Kafka is definitely one I think he felt he wanted to get back and do again. And also, Cinema Jimbo. I will probably be picking up the Criterion of it as well. It's worth double dipping. Great film.
It's classic. So if you are somebody that when they announced Columbo, you got really excited, and then they announced the extras, and you were like, "Oh my god, that sounds amazing!" And then they announced that they clawed them all back, and you were really upset. The one that I recommend is you go check out Night Gallery, because they did the exact same treatment that they were giving Columbo, and there is 2 discs in here, and it's ridiculous how much love they show something like Night Gallery. All of these audio commentaries for everything on here. This release, and then there's one for the 2nd season as well. And I think there's a 3rd season if I'm remembering right. These releases are just, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, they take all of the energy that they could put into something like this and just say, yeah, let's give them everything that we possibly could. And then this comes out and it's like $28, I think. And it's 400 minutes of content with all kinds of commentaries to double that, basically. It is ridiculous how much you get for getting this. And now on sale, it's even less than $20, I think. And it's the perfect way to dive into something that perfectly captured that era of TV. And Night Gallery, I mean, like when I was young, Night Gallery, The Twilight Zone, there's 3 other series that you would fall asleep to and hear as you're falling asleep and just love it. Yeah, the Kolchak sets have tons of extras. Everything on these are like, it's borderline stupid. I can't even compliment these enough. It's just they put so much into these. I love Kino Lorber.
Yeah. That's a set I've been eyeing too. And I really got to get the Kolchak set too, because I love those movies too. Those movies are so good.
I'm still upset about the Columbo thing.
I was looking to get those as well. And without those commentaries, I'm like, I don't know. That's such a drag. That's got to be, it's so painful. I've heard interviews with one of the guys from Kino about it, and it's just like, what heartbreak. I mean, they work so hard on all that to just have those have to go away. What a bummer.
Yeah. And, all right. I did want to say, Reggie says, I believe season 2 is much more expensive. Yes, because as Mike says, there's twice as many episodes in season 2. So I think that one is either 3 or 4 discs, and it's it's way more content. Their lobby card offerings are pretty disappointing.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. I wish it was $30 for like one.
Well, I mean,
for
to be
just
fair,
one commentary, that would be better.
The slipcovers are pretty flimsy. It's basically an art card.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the slipcovers for Kino are, they're okay. They're okay.
Holy hell. Mike just looked it up. Season 2 is almost 1,200 minutes versus 408 on season 1.
Okay. All right. Well, then that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So this is like a three for this one because, of course, you got to get your fistful of dollars and a few dollars more and good and bad and the ugly. I just went to the Vista here in Los Angeles and they were playing A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More. Love these movies forever. I love spaghetti westerns. I love Italian cinema in general. And so they were doing this as a double at the Vista. Now the Tarantino owns it. And I just love these movies. So you're getting 4K versions of these movies. Like never did I think we get such deluxe versions of these movies that, I used to watch on VHS that they were not in great versions. So this is like another big reason why I have so many Westerns that have gotten through Kino, but this is ones I just wanted to highlight because I mean, obviously it's well known,
essential,
but this is like, you gotta have all those. So this is a three for, you got to get all three. Unfortunately, didn't get the slipcover for the third one, but that's all right.
Yeah. Not very many people did, I think.
It sold out pretty quick, and I get it. Like I mean, but I don't care. I really just want the movies ultimately.
Same.
So like, I mean, ultimately, I can do with or without.
I chuckled while you were reading through those titles, and I was not laughing at you. My phone lit up out of the corner of my eye. I glanced at it, and I know I mentioned it earlier, but just an update. It was at 41 comments earlier. We're up at 96 since we started the show of just hateful, ridiculous comments about the Half-Baked sequel.
I can't wait. I can't wait to finish this and then just go on Facebook and check out all these comments. Over Half-Baked too. Guys. Find something to do, guys. Find something to do. It's okay. Take the rest of the night off. You're all right. It's all going to work out. Dave Koechner's not going to not deliver, guys.
And he'll be in 27 more movies this year. Don't worry. So after I knew that we were covering the Umbrella announcements tonight, I made it a complete focus to pull this one out first. Because, my goodness, one of the best discoveries I've ever made through Kino was them putting out an Ozploitation film, which is Stunt Rock.
Yep.
And
this movie, it's so good.
This movie is perfection. How do you describe Stunt Rock? Like everything happens.
Yeah. It's it's got a band and they're all playing their songs. So it's really a bunch of sort of music videos or performances of this band and then also stunts. I mean, the title does not lie. I also had this too because I had The Man from Hong Kong through Umbrella, and they have like several movies from Brian Trenchard Smith, who did a couple movies for New World Pictures, who did Dead End Drive-In and Escape 2000, aka Turkey Shoot.
We were just talking about that one last night.
Oh, dude, we haven't even gotten to them yet, and I'm like, cannot wait. Turkey Shoot is amazing. Such an incredible movie. Though I think New World released it as Escape 2000, so they did the more American trimmed out cut. But Stunt Rock is and great stunts. It's a weird movie because it's narratively, I don't know. There's not a lot happening, but it's riveting. It's Brian Trenchard Smith is just one of my favorites, and I love that film. It's a great call.
It is great. Brian Trenchard Smith is always great. But as I was going to point out, Paul did want to say Grant Page, who is the stuntman in this movie, passed away overnight, literally this week. He was the stuntman, star of Stunt Rock, and an Aussie film legend. He's done all kinds of stuff. He is Stunt Rock basically. And this movie, again, if you've never seen this, great extras on here too. They lean hard into the Not Quite Hollywood documentary, which was a masterpiece. There's an audio commentary from Brian Trenchard Smith on here, who is great at what he does. Loves telling some of the old stories behind the actual filmmaking. Yeah, this is a must.
Yeah,
Absolutely adore Snow.
yeah, it's a great film. Good times. Speaking of good movie, and I think this is one that I don't think a lot of people are into. And of course, like I said, I love Burt Reynolds, but I don't know if a lot of people are getting into Breaking In.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I like Bill Forsyth. He's a Scottish director, and he did Local Hero. It's probably one of his more well known movies, Gregory's Girl, and this is about an older thief played by Burt Reynolds, and then Casey Zamasco, who Young Guns fans will recognize, and he's like his apprentice, and he's kind of a bit of an idiot, and it's just sort of a moment in time, which is a lot of what Bill Forsyth's movies are. They're not narratively like big arcs; they're just sort of like, here's these characters in this moment of their lives, and I believe it written by John Sayles. Um, and it's a really good movie. I really dug this movie. It's got an audio commentary as well with Bill Forsyth and John Sayles. This is a movie that I don't think is on a lot of people's radar, and I think it's an excellent movie and just shows you again the types of movies that Kino releases. They have a lot of Burt Reynolds movies, but I don't think this is the one people are grabbing enough. But it's a good film.
I've never seen that one. I definitely need to pick that one up for sure.
It's a good one, and it's like a quiet like Burt Reynolds movie, and it feels like a Burt trying to really show like his acting skills, like really trying to dig in with a character,
Yep.
and it's excellent. I really like it.
My last of the main five to talk about, I probably should have mentioned this after Night Gallery because I kind of already alluded to it tangentially. It's not the Kolchak set. However, the Night Strangler, this is a beautiful release. This is a wonderful 4K restoration. And the big thing, you've got a commentary on here from the man, Tim Lucas himself. This is a great release. Kolchak stuff, again, is like comfort food for so many of us that grew up on it. And Columbo falls right into that. The Night Gallery stuff, it's all just sort of in that oeuvre of time where it's childhood for me. Like watching some of these episodes, and then the film here, and then the commentary. Like Tim Lucas is so good at what he does. I'm just so glad that it's on there.
Yeah, I don't think I have the upgrade yet, but I have the other movies. But I need to get the 4Ks.
Yep, I agree with Mike. Just throw them in the cart. Come on.
Yeah, I may like the second one even more.
Yeah,
I really dug those movies. And I like the series as well. I watched a lot of the shows, but I don't have the discs yet, so I would love to get commentaries and stuff like that. So, yeah, those are great picks. I love those movies. And speaking of Burt Lancaster, might as well talk about The Train.
Nice.
This isn't the 4K, which I do want to pick up because this still looks like unbelievable.
That movie's epic too.
It's such a good movie. One of my favorite moments is like a moment where he's up in like a tower and Burt Lancaster runs and he goes down this ladder and the train's coming by and then he runs alongside and jumps on the train. And it's just like one shot and he just was doing his own stunts. And you're just like, holy shit. Ran and jumped on a moving train. Great story about protecting art from the Nazis. And that isn't a Indiana Jones movie. And it's such a good film. It's got a great commentary from John Frankenheimer. It's an excellent film. I can't even imagine how good the 4K must look because the Blu-ray I think looks fantastic. Just beautiful black and white. So I will upgrade the 4K eventually, but it's an awesome movie if people haven't seen The Train.
Well, speaking of 4K, all of my honorable mentions are 4Ks. That again, the discs are pretty good, but I don't think any of these none of them have any new features. But again, Kino just quietly killing it with 4Ks seemingly every single week. And ones I recommend highly: Eastern Promises, the Cronenberg, the To Live and Die in LA. This 4K looks so much better.
I haven't picked that one up yet because I have the what is it? I think it's the Arrow one.
Yeah, the Arrow Blue
from the UK. Yeah. So I'm like, but I should. I love that movie so much. And yes, Face Off, of course.
John Woo. I mean, I had to. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna eventually do it too. I have it on like another. I think it's. I have it on a Blu-ray that I think I got from Hamilton Book that also has Snake Eyes on it.
Yep.
And so, so it wouldn't. I don't feel bad upgrading to the 4K Face Off, and it's great. Like the action scenes are great. I totally get people's love of it. It's just this thing is really, it bothers me still. Just and I mean, I know that it's part of the fun, but like how did they trade faces, but also their physicalities? Because they're both two different. It doesn't matter. It's still fun.
Don't question it.
It's just that John Travolta is much taller. I don't know how it happened. So anyway, for little mentions, right? We can just. I didn't upgrade this yet, but Charlie Varick.
Nice.
This is a great one with him. Just Walter Matthau, like in the 70s. You got to get all of that that you can. Yep. And I think this is with Don Siegel. Didn't he direct this?
That sounds right.
Anyway, it's terrific, and I'm probably going to get the 4K eventually. I love this movie since I was a little kid. Running Scared. Do not know why we never got a sequel.
Running Scareder.
We had this on VHS, and I pretty much memorized the whole movie when I was a kid. Nice. I absolutely love this movie. It's so good. When I moved to Chicago, I actually came out of a L stop. It was underground, and I walked out, and I was in the wrong stop, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And then I looked in front of me, and it was the building for the end of the film. And I just was like, "Oh my god, it's the movie from Running Scared." And I walked in just to be like, "Is it the same inside?" And it was. And I was like, "Holy shit!" Everyone's trying to like move on with their lives, get in. And I'm like walking around this building, like, "Holy shit, it's the building from Running Scared."
That's great.
Anyway, terrific movie. I never thought this movie would come out on Blu-ray. The Wildlife. I used to have it on VHS.
Yeah.
I totally get it if you don't like this movie. The spiritual sequel to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Art Linson, I think, had to step in. He was the producer. He had to step in to direct. I'm not sure who was supposed to initially direct this movie. Eric Stoltz, young Chris Penn. Me and my brother have seen this movie so many times. I can quote the entire thing. And I get it. If you don't like it, I get it. Especially if you're coming at it now. But I just saw this so many times as a kid. And this was one of those movies that was just like, I just thought was never going to come out because it had music issues. And I'm not sure if they got every song on here that they had before, right. But I just love this movie. This is just one of those that I get. If you're like, "Oh, I hate that movie," I get it. I totally get it. But I love this one. I love it. Nice. Speaking of, I also loved North Shore. One of my absolute favorites. I saw it in the movie theater. I bought this day one. I pre-ordered it. I was like, hell yes, North Shore, because it has commentaries. It is one of the. I look at this as not just like when I first saw it as a kid, I was like, this is such a Karate Kid knockoff, but it's really a knockoff of like every 80s theme like that's going on. There's like a Romeo and Juliet aspect. There's like the master teacher thing that's, there's the West Side Story kind of thing, like the with the locals in Hawaii, and I just absolutely love this movie. Turtle's the best, you gotta love North Shore. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And then lastly, Treasure of the Four Crowns.
Ooh, nice.
3D. This is a fantastically fun film released by Canon. Right there at the 3D craze by Ferdinando Baldi is the director. He actually did the first one, which I think is, it's not Get Mean. I have it behind me, but he did, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name all of a sudden, but he did another 3D movie, which really set off the craze. And Coming At Ya, that's what it's called. And then they got Canon and said, come in and make a 3D movie. And this movie is about if you've not seen it, have you seen it?
I've saw it, yeah.
Yeah. A middle-aged Indiana Jones guy with like a members only jacket walking around through Europe like he is the coolest motherfucker in the world.
He is for a little bit.
And he is. It ends with like a sequence that's completely quiet with them crawling along this rooftop. It's just, and the 3D. I love 3D movies, especially when you aren't watching them in 3D and you can see all the moments they went for.
Right.
And this and Coming at You have so many moments of them going, ooh, just stupid stuff thrown at the camera. It just doesn't. It never ends being delightful to me. So this is like this is a must own.
Really good 3D restoration too, by the way.
It is. It's excellent, and I've watched it both ways, and it's really great, really fun both ways. But sometimes I'm like Friday the 13th, the 3D. I don't want to see that one in 3D. It's so much fun just to watch how silly it is that they're like, doing the yo-yo or they're doing the different things that you're like, okay, yeah. Clearly this is just. And Coming at You, they have two scenes where they're dropping beans onto the camera from a bag. It's just like, okay, you're like, whoa, it's just, I don't know what they thought.
They're almost realistic.
Was, but yeah, right. That's what I always thought a 3D movie would be about. Anyway, wow. So those are just a few selections, and I wanted to make sure that you could all get those. So I think you can definitely still buy all those. So
again, KinoLorber.com is their website. Sales 5 to 7 times a year, something like that.
Yeah,
and they are really high quality. There's some favorites from Ronnie as well. Everybody else can share your favorites in the chat if you'd like. Last year, literally, I don't know if if you haven't been watching, this may not be believable. Kino Lorber in the year of 2023 released almost 250 titles last year, which is a real number. And for one label to be able to do that is
it's crazy.
It's difficult to put out one title a month, and they're doing more than 20 in most months. And
I've got a bunch of their stuff back here too, like Serpico. I just have to rewatch some of these. They put out an unbelievable amount of stuff.
Yeah,
it's insane. And I try to pre-order as much as I can with them, and I totally understand if everybody waits for the sales, but I'm going to pre-order the Fletch movies. Yep. Fletch was I
already did,
seminal movie. I mean, the sequel's still not that great, but the first movie was a huge movie in my life.
Yep.
It is what definitely sent me to start, wanting to do comedy and wanting to do sketch comedy and stuff. That was the movie that I saw in the movie theater and with my mom and my brother. And oh my God, I've never heard an audience laugh that much. And it was just like, oh, wow, this is cool as hell.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying I'm definitely going to order those because holy shit.
My last note for Kino before we get into Vinegar Syndrome stuff is if you have not been paying attention to them, because I know they're still kind of underground, Atomic Movie Store. They are the best place to pre-order Kino titles from. The standard blues on pre-order are usually it's either $15.99 or $16.99, something like that. Which everyone else has them up for $19.99 or even $21.99. And then the 4Ks, they're usually up at either $23.99 or $24.99 when everybody else has them at $26 to $28. So no matter what you're saving, and then Atomic Movie Store, they do free shipping after $50. So if you buy 2 or 3, depending on what they are, you're already at that free shipping and you're saving even more. So those titles are, realistically, a brand new 4K pre-ordered at $23. That's a really great deal for a Kino 4K.
Absolutely. Yeah. And their 4Ks are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I know you said they had that hard target. They had to send the disc out, but they don't have that happen a whole lot.
Right.
And that happens a lot for 4Ks. It happens,
Yeah, it's a big problem. Anyways,
Gina Davis is great in the first Fletch. Everybody's great in it. Actually,
Gina Davis is always great.
Confess Fletch really got the shaft. I enjoyed the hell out of that. And I've been waiting for that movie in so long. It definitely went back to the books. I don't know if you read the books, but when I was a kid seeing Fletch, I started buying all the books. I went heavy into it. And it's much more like the books than the movies that, the original Fletch, which is more geared really towards Chevy Chase. But yeah, that I don't know what happened with Confess Fletch. I think it was wasn't that Miramax that put that out? Miramax that still exists, and they just dumped it in a couple theaters and then threw it on streaming. It's such a bummer because it's really good. and they could have been making a sequel by now if they hadn't completely botched the release.
It was Paramount, actually.
Was it?
Yeah. And you can go and buy the Blu-ray right now for $28.
$28. Well, it's really going to cut into my Venomous budget, but we'll see.
Oh man,
how do I get both? I don't know.
On the note of Venomous, it is time to talk about Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, I don't think we planned on you being here for the Flash pre-order event, but
I'm
glad
awesome.
you're here.
So I'm very honored to be here on this night. This is awesome.
So Vinegar Syndrome, how many do you got from them? How do you feel about Vinegar Syndrome as a boutique? Yeah, what can you tell us?
I'm on my 3rd year as a subscriber, so I'm clearly I'm in, and you know I think we've talked before, like you know you get to get a lot of the partner label stuff. Though I'm now trying to I don't have the latest one from Death Crocodile because I want to order directly from them. But you know, you get some of the partner labels, you get all that the discount, you get, you know, when the sales come by, I don't even think about them because I'm like, meh, is there anything I haven't gotten that,
right,
you know, that's outstanding that I need to pick up? But you know, you already get those prices, so I'm bought in, and I just watched just in advance because I was curious how it was. I think it's Dr. Horrible's House of Terrors or something like that.
Yeah, House of Horrors,
dude, it's so good. I had never seen it, and it's awesome. It's such a good movie. Really enjoyed the hell out of it. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm all in on Vinegar Syndrome.
What have been some of your favorite recent releases from them, other than this one that just got announced? He just said, 4K for Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. That's the first Amicus title in 4K. They beat any Hammer titles to 4K.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one to show up. Obviously, I think I haven't been able to watch it again, but the fact that we got Existenz is pretty dope. I'm a big Cronenberg fan. That's pretty incredible. I'm just looking down through ones I have here. I enjoyed The Black Room. Did you watch that one?
I've not got to it yet, but man, everybody is stoked on that.
Pretty good. It's a pretty good one, man. It's movies like that Vinegar Syndrome will just have one of those that I have just never heard of. My favorite from like last year was, I think, or maybe the year before, was Alien Private Eye.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that movie. I've watched it so many times. It's just an amazing, and again, one of those things that when you see the interview with the director, he's so earnest. He just was trying to make this movie. Like he just believed in this idea, and he's so stoked that people are like interviewing and talking to him about this movie. It's like it makes you an even bigger fan of the film because you're just like, hell yeah, look at this guy, you know. Like I love the movie, I enjoyed it. Let me see, Mutant Hunt. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head. I really enjoyed that one. I'd already seen Mother's Day. Mother's Day is okay. I'm excited for them to kind of run through some of their trauma things and just kind
still
of
wild that we got that in 4K.
That is crazy. And Rabid Grannies. It's amazing we've gotten those. I went through and burned through all the prophecies like right away when that came out. I think that is great. I love that box art because I held on to my Blade in the Dark, which I think is fine. Yeah, I dug it, but I love the box.
Yeah.
So when Prophecy showed up like that, I was like, okay, this is, you know, I still haven't gotten rid of my my copy of Blade in the Dark because I don't know, I still kind of like it. It's not the best yellow ever, but I don't know, for a TV movie that they kind of pieced together, I don't know, it's not bad.
Right.
But yeah, those are some of the recent ones. Oh, Night Screams.
It's a good one too.
That's a good one. Steel and Lace. Yes. I love Steel and Lace. We talked about that on our podcast.
Nice.
As a nearly New World, because a lot of people from New World worked on that one. It was sort of when they were already out of theatrical, but I feel like if they hadn't sort of gone under, they would have made Steel and Lace. I think that's one that's kind of unsung. Like I think they still have. Oh no, they recently put that on sale to try to get rid of like they still had the slip for that one. I couldn't believe that one hadn't sold out already.
So there are some things getting announced tonight. Keep in mind the website is not going on sale. This is a flash pre-order event for items that will be released at the end of May. If you've never done this before, I understand this whole event is a little bit confusing, but basically it's just a way for them to hype up what is coming as part of their halfway to Black Friday sale. So as you'll see, it says titles will be revealed. We've got the next VSU is going to be revealed, which will be a 4K release. The next cinematograph that will be, well, not the next, because they're actually announcing one on April 1st as well. This will be the fifth one that's coming out in May. They're revealing that tonight. The fourth one will be announced on April 1st. There will be discounted pre-order, so you can get the bundle, and it'll be just a little bit cheaper than if you get it in May. And if you're a subscriber, you already get everything except for the VSU and the cinematograph. If you order this weekend, you get double VSMC points. Which is cool if you're going in for some of the discounts or some of the extras and all that stuff. One thing we do know is getting announced tonight is China O'Brien 1 and 2 4K. They announced that a little bit ahead of time because Eureka is releasing it as well. But other than that, we've gotten a couple hints. We've gotten the fact that the next VSU is an Orion Pictures action movie with big stars. And there's not... I mean, there's a lot of Orion titles, obviously, but there's not a lot that I would say are action epics with big stars.
Yeah.
And there's really only probably 5 or 8 that I would really think they would go with that type of clue. But like, they're not going to put out the Terminator. I mean, that would be mind blowing.
Right. But no, it's not that. And also, I would say probably like at the time, they weren't really huge stars.
Right.
I mean, they became them off of that movie. I mean, I guess Arnold maybe off of Conan, but I mean, I don't know if that's, I didn't even think it was that one. I just thought, no, they can't be doing the Terminator. There's already so many versions of that out there already.
Right.
I would be very curious what they would do with it, but,
the running guess right now is it's going to be Navy SEALs. That's the big one that everybody seems to be landing on.
But didn't they say from the 80s?
I don't remember if they gave a year for the VSU.
Okay.
I may be wrong. I got to admit, I've not paid attention to the emails all that much.
Big action with lots of stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all they said was the gold. Oh, that's right. It was the golden age of Orion Pictures.
Right. That's why I guess I thought the 80s, because they're talking about the golden age.
Right.
Well, probably the couch trip. That's it's an action classic.
Oh, Ryan. Oh, man.
Is it No Way? It could it be No Way Out?
I mean, possible. Maddie's asking, are they doing horror anymore for VSAs? Not really. Sometimes, but certainly not very often.
Got some love for the couch trip.
Love the couch trip.
I think.
Oh, that's right. No Way Out is coming from Kino,
and I think Couch Trip came out by Kino as well. So,
oh, Ryan.
Wishmaster 3 could. I mean that's already been put out by. There's a Wishmaster set, right, from
Vestron, right?
Vestron, yeah. So that's Lionsgate.
Yeah, and as long as they still have it, which they should.
Oh yeah, imagine they have the catalog. I think
the studio. So
yeah. That Vestron got like bought up by somebody else who got bought up by Lionsgate. So that's how that all graduated to him.
Dude McMahon says, weird. I just watched Navy SEALs a couple weeks ago for the first time in 30 years. Charlie Sheen is still really annoying. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Navy SEALs, but I mean, it's a good guess. It's a good guess.
Sibner says the guess on cinematograph is Dangerous Game.
Huh.
Interesting. Was there a clue for the cinematograph? Because I don't remember there being a clue even for that. How would there be a guess?
Did they Did Justin not want to put one out after everybody guessed going south?
That one was so obvious though. The art for that was very clearly going south.
The main thing is the action movie aspect, because there's lots of movies that Orion put out that I was looking through initially to try and think, well, what could it have been? But some of them I'm like, I don't know if this is an action classic. Like the Falcon and the Snowman is a great movie. I'm not sure that's an action film.
No,
I wouldn't really call it that. So, and a lot of these have been done. So it's kind of, does Kino still have the FX rights?
oh yeah, I believe so, because that wasn't that long ago.
But that's not maybe huge stars either.
No, not, at least not at the time for sure.
Yeah, Brian Brown was, big enough to because of a movie we just talked about, some of his Australian movies, Breaker Morant. We just talked about because that was released by New World Pictures in the U.S.
It is time, so now we can know. Let's
find out.
China O'Brien and Navy SEALs 4K
there it is
for the VSU.
They had it.
Dangerous Game for Cinematograph and Homegrown Horrors Volume 3. And then on top of that, there are the secret releases. We're going to go through all of them together, figure this out now. So Navy SEALs, this is the next VSU. Let's see what all they're going to show. Okay, so yeah, I'll leave it there. I don't think there's anything major bad in Navy SEALs I can't show. Anyways, this will be limited to 10,000 units. Louis Teague's big budget war epic starring Charlie Sheen, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton, and more hits 4K from VSU. Then we've got newly scanned and restored in 4K. It's going to be a 2-disc set with HDR, newly produced featurettes with Louis Teague himself, actor Nicholas Caddy, screenwriter Gary Goldman, and more. The exact extras will be announced later. Then the artwork, like I already showed, looks decent.
Yeah.
Not mind-blowing, but I mean, it's very Navy SEALs.
Louis Teague is a guy who started at New World Pictures back in the Corman era, doing some editing, and then started doing second unit stuff. He directed Lady in Red from a John Sayles script. But we talked about Cockfighter, and he is the guy who filmed all the cockfights for Cockfighter because Monty Hellman didn't really want to.
I wonder why.
So he sent Louis Teague. And then they did Alligator together, another great alligator film.
Absolutely. So China O'Brien 1 and 2, this is coming in 4K. Same as Eureka, this will likely be a slightly different restoration because VS usually does their own restoration work, even on shared titles like that. So this is a 3-disc set presented in HDR. New commentary tracks for each film by Frank Jang and John Charles. That's rad. New 19-minute interview with Cynthia Rothrock. New featurette with Richard Norton, Keith Cook, and Chris Casamassa. New interview with Melanie Good. New interview with the casting director, Katrine McGregor. New featurette with the composers. Archival making of doc. A couple archival video interviews with Cynthia Rothrock and Richard Norton. Those are from the Cynthia Rothrock YouTube channel. And then some trailers and all that good stuff. We've seen the art a couple times, so nothing really super surprising there.
But this is in the subscription?
Yes, this is in the subscription, so you will be getting this.
So I'll be getting this. I probably would pick it up. I wonder, does Vinegar Syndrome, did they know in advance they were going to release this, so they could have just, or did they just keep knocking back on Cynthia Rothrock's door like, hey, we got to do another interview. Is it cool? Is it cool? Do you still... Are Thursdays still good? Or
I know we already met last week,
because they keep interviewing you for all these releases. I got to think they did it all at once, but I don't know. But this seems like a far way out to have known. But
Simner says, check out those secret surprise hints. Let's skip forward to that before we go to Homegrown Horrors Volume 3. So secret flash release title hints. Not swayed by our latest trio of deep cut regional 80s horror with Homegrown Horrors Volume 3. Blah, blah, blah. China O'Brien. Never fear, as our duo of secret surprise releases will surely satiate your appetite for some of the wildest genre cinema of the 70s and 80s. One offers a mouthwatering classic from a regional auteur which has been meticulously restored from its lost for decades camera original for Blu-ray, while the other is a masterpiece of big-budget, non-stop thrill ride from a perfect storm of producer, director, and star who all but reinvented this uniquely 80s genre for 4K and Blue. I almost feel like that wording of perfect storm is there for a reason. There's got to be a hint in that.
Satiate your appetite?
That could be a part of it, yeah.
Mouth-watering as well?
Yep. Uniquely 80s genre. What? I mean, there's a lot that could be. All right. So while we think on those, let's take a look at Homegrown Horrors Volume 3. Man, some wild art on this box. Interesting. So this one is going to have... kicking off the collection is Christopher Lewis's grisly Oklahoma lens supernatural slasher Revenge, starring Patrick Wayne and John Carradine in the midst of a rural cult of Satan-loving killers who use the black arts to wreak havoc. I'm surprised they didn't use the word wreak. Wreak havoc on anyone who gets in their way. Enjoy this gruesome classic, newly restored from its 16mm original negative with all its bloody effects looking better than ever. Next up is Doug Robertson's Kentucky-based revenge slasher Haunted Ween. They did announce this title earlier this year, so I'm glad that's here in this box. This takes the Halloween spirit to newly vengeful heights as a fraternity party becomes a night of bloody mayhem when a mass stalker begins dismembering the guest. Packed with local flavor and a good sense of fun, this truly regional passion project comes to Blu-ray, restored in 4K from its 16mm camera negative, packed with new and archival bonus features. And then from Michael O'Rourke, the man behind the previous HGH's sleeper hit Moonstalker, comes another, though earlier demented, Reno shot slasher with the ghostly romance Deadly Love. After her lover is murdered, a scorned woman summons his presence from the grave. Years later, his ghost still haunts the house of his lover's untimely demise, where he murders anyone who makes the mistake of entering the property. Enjoy this offbeat regional rarity, newly restored from 16mm inner positive. Includes hours of newly produced extras, 3-disc set, exact extras to be announced later. Gosh, there's a lot to love in these sets, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm into the Haunted Ween. I remember when they mentioned that, so that seems to be like that's an early favorite out of this set.
I probably shouldn't go through all of these, but I'm going to try to go through as many as I can and hope for the best from the YouTube gods. The coloring in this one looks great. Revenge.
These look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for Homegrown Horrors 16mm stuff, the pictures on this are crazy clear. Wow. Really good effects, too. Huh. No nudity. I can show them all. That's wild.
That is wild. And potentially disappointing.
Ronnie says, uniquely 80 genre. Does that equal lots of Hairspray? I mean, that's quite possible. Yes, Dan, I'm sure they meant Reek as well. That was the point. Cinematograph release, Dangerous Game. This one is going to be blue. This one, let's see. Man, decent art. I have you picked up any of the Cinematograph releases yet?
Yes, yeah, I have Little Darlings, and I'd already picked up Red Rock West from Umbrella, but I may still grab it. I may still double dip. I wanted to get the John Dahl commentary and stuff.
Yeah.
From the Umbrella one, but those boxes, they are so nice.
Yeah.
They're really, really excellent. And I'm curious about the difference in the picture quality as well.
So this one, newly scanned and restored in 4K from the 35mm OCN. We don't have the exact extras yet. It's going to have numerous interviews with its cast and crew. And this is a big one. Abel Ferrar's Dangerous Game, propelled by fearless performances from Harvey Keitel. Wow, don't know why I said it like that. Harvey Keitel, Madonna, and Nancy Ferrara, James Russo. I mean, this is a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, I have not seen this one. I don't think.
Oh, Wave is pointing out the cinematograph seems to be going 4K, then blue, then 4K, then blue. Huh.
Huh.
So that means,
The next
well,
one, well,
I guess it would be thrown off possibly by whatever is getting announced on April 1st. Sibner has the olive release for this.
yeah, I don't think this is one I've seen from.
I can't remember if I've seen this one or not yet. Man, this is pretty neat though. Sometimes in the package they put other clues. Let me see if we got different clues on those secret titles. What about the 2 secret titles? One offers mouthwatering classic from a regional auteur. Nope, that's the exact same thing. Reinvented this uniquely 80s genre. I still want to know what that means. Uniquely 80s genre. There's like 19 things.
Oh no, I think I have seen this one. I have seen Dangerous Game. Now that I'm looking at the original box art, because Madonna's in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen this one. It's been a long time, but yeah. Okay. So like the new art is so great, but I'm like, God, that's not ringing a bell. And I see the old art, and I'm like, okay, all right, that's right. I remember this one.
Trying to do some research right now. What's this? I guess you have to report to the emergency room. Man, how's everybody feel about the slate? China O'Brien 1 and 2, of course, we knew about. Navy SEALs 4K from VSU. Homegrown Horrors Volume 3 is pretty big. And then the cinematograph. But then also, I mean, 2 mystery titles. We got a blue and a 4K. Sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've even gotten to my second Homegrown Horrors set, so I definitely got to change that so I can be ready for the third one.
Yep.
Navy SEALs, I remember it. It's okay. I'm intrigued from the Lewis Teague aspect, but it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I don't remember loving that one. But
Hey, Zach.
the
Long
China
time no
O'Brien
see,
ones, like that's they're okay. They're not my favorite Rothrock ones, but I
but
mean,
they're also about to be released by Eureka too. So
yeah, which I do. I love Eureka. I almost picked them instead of Kino,
instead of Kino,
but Kino has such variety,
yeah,
and Eureka has been sort of going pretty heavy on the Asian cinema stuff, which is not a complaint by any stretch, but
it's
just
hard to
thought,
have a good variety there. Yeah,
yeah.
I think a
So
lot of my favorite Eureka discs are out of print at this point too.
yeah, that's also an issue too, and I agree. 10K of Navy SEALs. That's a lot. They're expecting a pretty heavy volume of people buying that one. So
Well, most of their VSUs have been around 10 or 12,000.
hmm.
I think Six String Samurai might have only been 6 or 7,000, but yeah, I mean that one will be available for a long time.
Legend of Billie Jean. Hmm.
As the uniquely 80s genre, I assume.
Yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with the food stuff, but that would be terrific if that happened to be. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although I feel like the Legend of Billie Jean didn't that get a Mill Creek release fairly recently?
yeah, it's on like some 80s compilations and stuff. That's how
Right.
I have it. Yeah. But again, you can get off of Hamilton Book. But
Right.
I yeah, Pat, Navy SEALs is not great, but what about Navy SEALs? Isn't there a sequel too? Like, I mean, I mean, I gotta think that's even worse.
Feels like they couldn't give away Six String Samurai with how long it was there. uh,
Yeah, that did take some time.
Dude McMahon, there was a real life Navy SEAL who said the only scene in that movie that was remotely realistic was when they were getting drunk. Mike wants somebody to do a Miss 45 release. Well, there
Yeah,
was
me too.
obviously there was the Draft House release, but on top of that, there was a German release that keeps popping up at Orbit and Diabolic as well.
Mm.
So you may want to keep an eye out for that if you are just looking for the film. Incredible movie, obviously.
It feels like one though they're gonna do somebody's going to pick up and do here.
I mean, yeah, I imagine somebody will do a 4K of Miss 45 eventually. That movie is so damn good.
Yeah, I feel like we there's a Bell Ferrara movies that I feel like they're going to get into. They already did what, King of New York. I feel like we're due.
Yeah, Arrow did that one.
Yeah,
and then 101 just released in the UK the what is the name of it? Is it Fear City or Night of?
Yeah, Fear City. Yeah.
But supposedly, I guess there's an issue with that disc. They did the wrong aspect ratio or something like that.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah. Has anybody picked that one up yet? Anybody know what's going on there?
Yeah, it's pornos. I mean,
Do his porns, yeah.
Vinegar Syndrome's in a very unique position to be able to appease all of the fans of Abel Ferrara and his many different films.
That's true. Very true. What is...
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to look up what was the issue with that Fear City disc.
Does anyone have some guesses on the other two movies?
Yeah, I would love to hear about that. Sibner, I don't think there's going to be a replacement disc. One of the cuts just is on the disc with the wrong aspect ratio, and they're probably not going to fix it. That's kind of... 101 has kind of been iffy on quality. King of New York was done on 4K by Arrow. And it's a great looking disc, by the way. That movie looks incredible in 4K.
Somebody suggested Firewalker.
I could see that maybe. Excellent. If I have Fear City on VHS and have wanted on 4K forever. I know that Shout Factory for Fear City has been out of print for quite some time now. I imagine the want on that title is great, especially if 101 Films is going to mess it up a bit. That's never a good sign either. When it's from a really important director on a title people want, and then you screw the pooch.
Yeah, that is a bummer. That is a bummer. But maybe somebody will do it domestically, or was that also through their US line?
No, it was only through the UK. I imagine somebody will do it eventually, and it probably should be a 4K. I don't think they did a new restoration at all. It was only with what the studio gave them. I don't think 101 Films has ever done a restoration themselves at all.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they may have done the last broadcast. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how some people are getting a little bummed, but I think the homegrown horror stuff always... I mean, the first set was just
that's
so
the
good.
exciting one for me.
I mean, that's going to be so interesting, and I think the Channel Bryants are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
I guess I'm in it again. This is that unique position when you subscribe that I'm like, I'm already getting them, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
But if I was thinking, what am I going to buy? I mean, I don't know. I might wait on the sale for the China O'Briens because, again, they're not my... I mean, I think most of the really good Cynthia Rothrock stuff's been out, or it's really her early Hong Kong stuff.
Yep.
And if they wanted to release... if they wanted to release these, that would probably be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know it got released again from somebody else, but Tiger Claws, those are pretty fun.
Yep.
Undefeatable, that was really good. But again, all those movies kind of... At least China O'Brien is her. I mean, right. A lot of the other movies, she's sort of like the second banana, and she doesn't get to do as much. Just kind of a drag. But,
yeah.
And Navy SEALs, it feels like everyone's going to buy that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a VSU with a bunch of big names. I mean, what's not to love there? I mean, sure, the movie's not perfect, obviously, but yeah. Oh yeah, totally agree here, Mike. Mike says Homegrown Horrors and Dangerous Game are the two that I'm excited for, but I'm sure at least Homegrown Horror will last until next year when it's 50%. Yeah, and that should be 50% in November, so not next year necessarily, unless they change that up again. Or wait, did they change it on the last sale? I feel like they may have. Jake says, this homegrown horror set might be my favorite to date. Haunted Ween is a regional classic, but both Revenge and Deadly Love are underrated. Maybe a Body Double. That would be insanity. Waiting for an Able box set.
That was only released in the UK, Body Double, right?
I mean, I know it was released in the UK. I feel like it had a Twilight Time here, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, Twilight Time, but that came out, oh Jesus, that was one of the earlier ones. That came out 2013.
Yeah, I don't know if it will be a half off in November, this third set, but it should be, right? Because it's, well, is it 6 months? Isn't that what they do? They
It
go
used
back?
to only be 5 months, basically, or 4 months, and then I think they might have just changed it, and now it's like 7 months, so it doesn't include the previous sale title. I'm not sure how they're doing it anymore. They obviously they got a little bit bigger, a lot more popular, and they had to do something to hold on to not losing all that money on sale stuff. But that's tough. It's a balancing act at this point, especially when you're literally training everybody that's buying your stuff to wait for every sale.
Right. Which a lot of people do, and I get it. It's a lot because you're blind buying a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I get it. But that's why I just subscribed.
What's better than blind buying 1 or 2 titles at a time, but then blind buying 37 of them?
And blind buying all of them. Why only get a few when I can get all of them?
Right. That's why Criterion rules, says David. I mean, yeah, but they've kind of been training everybody to wait for sales their entire life as a company at this point.
Yeah, the Hong Kong, I haven't watched that one. The volume 1. They haven't done a volume 2 yet.
Not
Have
yet.
you watched that? Have you watched that first one?
I watched. I didn't finish the box set. I think I've watched 1 or 2 of them, and they're decent. They're not like top of the genre or anything like that, but they're decent.
There's one I think that's supposed to be like really good in it.
Yeah.
So, but they had like 2 box sets that they put out last year as well, like the Mexican horror, gothic horror one, and I mean they had some pretty good. Those are pretty good. Those were pretty good. Sure. They had some good stuff. So,
oh God, Sibner speculating Bloodsport now. That would be an impressive release. Although I think a lot of people might be a little upset because they all bought that Cape Light release in the UK or Germany.
Has that not gotten out here in the US?
No.
But what's the appetite and the sort of food related hints that they have there?
That's there's 2. That's a good call. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome is very vague with their hints on purpose.
Sure.
Well, and one thing that we probably should point out, the secret titles, they're normally not giant titles. If anything, one of them is. They're both not going to be like massive mainstream blockbuster titles. For the secret titles, you're usually talking about like that's interesting type of reveal.
Sure.
Yeah, nothing insane.
Is it some sort of like a cannibal film or something? Or I mean, I just thought Under Siege, but I was like, to your point, like I don't think they're going to put out something that big.
No, probably not.
I would love it, but but I get it.
Wave says, was Existenz a secret title last year? I believe it was. Yes.
Yeah.
And so,
it was.
Like I'm saying, one of them may be a big title, but it's certainly never 2.
Right. Under Siege is Warner Brothers. Yeah, that's right. So maybe you get one of those Warner Brother classics. Maybe they'll get it from them.
Under Siege, Warner Archive.
Warner Archives, yeah. Get that fresh pressed Blu-ray from them.
Yeah, I think this is certainly the most exciting for me this month, Dangerous Game. Let me take a look at these wide. How do you
Artwork
feel?
subject to change. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think they did that for Showgirls, and I don't think it changed at all,
I
which
hope it
is
doesn't. It's the artwork is great.
yeah. How do you feel about that cinematograph packaging?
Oh my god. That's why I'm thinking of getting double dipping because I mean, it's really something. Like the little darlings package is just it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
with the booklet and I mean, it's really cool. And I mean, they Vinegar Syndrome's released some very cool some boxes and stuff, and they're always on top of that. But man, their boxes are unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be freaking hilarious, Wave. Funny enough, I just recorded a podcast talking about that movie too with Will. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
these are interesting at least, and it's a very Vinegar Syndrome slate. They obviously seem to be moving in a direction here. They're leaning into the action, which they had not done for years. It was more horror heavy handed, more genre related. Which I mean, some action movies fall into the genre category, but um, yeah, stuff like this is interesting.
Yeah, I wish they would. I mean, I know everyone's kind of doing this, but their release of the Iceman Cometh was fantastic. I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind if they kind of decided to do a few more from like Hong Kong and stuff because you know, that was an excellent release.
well, and when you think about it, like we've had gosh, I think we're at like 7 boutique labels that have really focused on the martial arts titles a lot over the last few years, and a lot of them have been very specifically region B. And granted, rights cost a lot to get it in the US, but that doesn't mean that we won't get some of those titles in region A. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Vinegar Syndrome could always get Rikio maybe, or the Seventh Curse. 88 Films had done both of those,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm. I have both of those. Those are great movies.
gosh, what is Robotrix? That was one.
Robotrix. Yep.
Yeah, there's a handful of them that I would not be surprised at all if they got some of these.
Yeah, the domestic rights to those. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they don't, but I mean, I do like the direction of like something like a Navy SEALs. I totally remember that being a big success in the VHS days.
Yeah.
I understand the appeal of that one. So if they are in China O'Brien, both of those being really from that era, but like, yeah, I'd be curious to see what else they go down that path. There's plenty of other stuff they could put out.
Humboldt says another Cronenberg secret title. I would bet probably not. I don't think Existenz is normally done in like a package deal type of thing.
Hmm.
So I don't think we're going to get another Cronenberg anytime soon.
Maybe Fast Company.
I mean, maybe. The hard part though is I don't see that. I mean, under the Cronenberg name, it could have some appeal, but it's not one that's got the appeal of Existenz.
No, I get it. I get it. It's a pretty good movie though.
Spider can use a Blu-ray. That did it not get any Blu-ray? What year was Spider? Was it 2002? Yeah,
I think
Spider's out on Blu-ray right now from Sony Pictures Classics.
yeah.
Blue Underground still has it. Still has what? Which one are we talking about?
They
Yeah,
didn't put out
so
they didn't put out Spider Blue Underground.
no, not at all. Yeah, Spider's currently in print from Sony Pictures Classics. That's not coming.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think at this point, I think M Butterfly was the last I think it was the last
Oh,
Cronenberg to go to Blu-ray.
yeah. He's to Blue Underground. He's talking about his Fast Company. I don't know if they
Oh
still
yeah,
have. I don't know if they still have it because I mean, they haven't done like that. I would think they would do a 4K of that already if they still had it. You would think.
you would
I
think.
mean,
God, and that Blu-ray came out in 2009,
a long time ago.
and it's out of print. It's going for $50 on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This one with the
I've got it up there too.
With the original shorts.
Yep.
That has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the movie. If you've watched the shorts, his most recent film, Crimes of
Hard
the
agree
Future.
there, Wave.
The-
We definitely need the Fly on 4K.
yeah, I that fly set is not bad from Chow Factory. Just to give them some love.
But also, that's about to go out of print too. That's in their going out of print section right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then, yeah, 4K incoming then.
Well, not necessarily. I believe that's a Fox title.
Oh, well,
So going
that
out of
makes it
print could
difficult
mean
going
never a
out of
release
print.
again.
Going out. Well, maybe Sony can help us out here. Maybe getting if now they're going to be in charge of all the Disney stuff.
We'll see. I think they got to make Disney some money first.
Yeah.
Well, not a lot of chatter in the chat on this, unfortunately. So it seems like some people are not super stoked on it.
That Simner, this isn't the short set. This is Fast Company that also had the shorts. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding you.
He may be talking to me because he says we've gone over that.
Oh,
I don't know what
see.
he's saying. I'm getting Dangerous Game, but that's all. Yeah, I get that. See, and I still think Humboldt Horse says looking for Mr. Goodbar, no chance. I mean, there was that hint from that Oscar video last year, but supposedly Justin has said definitively it is not coming on Cinematograph. That doesn't mean Vinegar Syndrome doesn't have it, but I don't know. I mean, it really sounds like he's saying it's definitely not coming. Either way, yeah, Homegrown Horror is the one I'm most excited for. The low budget auteur stuff is always fun.
Yeah. Dangerous Game. I probably need to look at the trailer just to remind myself what the movie is, but I really like what they're doing so far. I really like what Justin's doing with that label. So, I may have to do it.
I mean, yeah, the packaging is always great from Cinematograph. The titles he's choosing, I've been mostly impressed with Cinematograph stuff so far.
If I recall, this is one where Madonna's really trying to show she can act in this one.
Yeah.
If I recall this one, and this isn't the Willem Dafoe one that she did with the candles.
No,
this is not that kind of thing. This is definitely a much grittier performance from her.
Dude, McMahon says I may pick up Navy SEALs when they drop it to $10 with 8,500 copies left. That's not going to happen, probably.
I mean, not until like 2026 or something when they're like
right.
having to, I mean, can you wait that long? Are you ready to wait that long?
Stibner's asking, is it still 3 times points this weekend? I believe it's 2 times points. I may have misread, but I thought it was double points.
Yes, body of evidence. Sorry.
Everybody's standing up for it.
My apologies. I apologize, Sidner. I didn't mean to disrespect body of evidence.
Oh, that's
the one with the candles. Really, Chad, get your shit together. I agree. I agree, Sidner.
Oh man. All right. Well, any other questions? Yeah. Any other thoughts? Any other
guesses?
Yeah.
I can't really sit here and look it all up, but I'm curious if everybody has good guesses.
Body of Evidence is objectively bad, but Willem Dafoe and Wax. I mean, you could have just stopped at Willem Dafoe.
I don't think any movie Willem Dafoe is that bad. And he's still pretty good in that movie, but
he is always good.
He's always good. A lost in the whole poor things thing is how amazing Willem Dafoe is in that movie.
His prosthetics in that movie, man, are that special, like a very 80s feeling when they went for it, and just who cares that it's not going to be perfect, because that's kind of the point for this, and it just looked incredible.
Yeah. But what's with the I feel like the 2 different hints about you whet your appetite and everything. That's got to be leaning somewhere.
I mean, yeah, it very well could be.
Yeah, body of evidence as Julianne Moore. It has a lot going for it. a real body of evidence, Stan Sibner. This is great. This is awesome. I love it. I love it. Stand behind that film.
The way that they say nonstop thrill ride from a perfect storm of producer, director, and star. I wonder if it's oh gosh, don't start saying bad taste, Sibner. You're gonna make everybody think it's actually coming.
Peter Jackson has all those, doesn't he? I mean, he's keeping those under lock and key.
Well, he's supposedly been working on them or about to work on them since like long before the Beatles thing started.
Yeah, he's worse than Jim Cameron, but at least Jim Cameron's finally delivering, right? So, because I would love to see his early stuff. I'd love Bad Taste.
So the way they say the perfect storm of what is the clue? The perfect storm of producer, director, and star.
Mouth-watering classic. Okay, from a regional auteur.
That's funny. The way they write perfect storm of producer, director, and star, I think that's a weird order to say that in. So maybe it's somebody that produced the perfect storm. Who's the producers on that? Barry Levinson's one of them. Yes, it is two different films, of course.
A non-stop thrill ride from a perfect storm. Is it Perfect Storm? Did they just give it away?
Pat wants to know how is Going South. I've not watched the brand new disc, but I remember liking it fine. I remember it not being great, but pretty fun. I mean, it's Jack Nicholson.
Good night, Craig.
See you, Craig.
Yeah, I've not seen Going South since I was a little kid. My parents rented it, and it was not good from what I recall. But I was a kid, so I don't know. So I'm curious.
Right. Well, any other thoughts? Any other guesses?
Yeah, I don't know.
The way Vinegar Syndrome writes clues, these could literally be anything, and they could have a justification to make it work.
I feel like people will figure it out though. People had it on lot, had it all figured out for this month. So, I mean, yes, the Terminator. That certainly would be great.
Leaning heavily into the Terminator.
I mean, I would love to see the Terminator get a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. I just don't feel like that's going to happen. But
yeah, I mean, the rumor is there is a 4K of the Terminator coming this year, but I mean, everybody assumed the studio, of course.
Yeah.
XNIF says Exterminator 1 and 2.
I don't know if those fits into those two.
Yeah.
Masterpiece, a big budget. It's not a big budget film. Neither one of them, the Exterminators.
Right.
I don't know about the mouth-watering aspect. And a regional auteur, I wouldn't call James Glickenhaus regional.
Not really.
I dig both those movies, so I mean that would be awesome. But yeah, I thought I have the 4K of T2, and I haven't watched it yet because I've heard it's not good.
Well, and I just posted the comment, but as we found out in the last handful of months, Studio Canal used the 3D transfer for that was approved and put that on the 4K disc, and that's what has been used for the last handful of years for the T2. And so the rumor supposedly is that we might even be getting a better version of that eventually.
Yeah, I would hope so. And I also got the Blu-ray just to have a backup, so I have to check those out and check out the book. Thank you very much for the kind comment. Thank you. I would love to be back.
For the record, I've already gotten a text from someone else that says Ryan is a great guest and he has to come back as well.
Oh, thank you guys. That's awesome. Mike, well played. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
correct.
really
I
funny.
should. Yeah, that's why I said I haven't seen it yet. I need to see it, and I'll love it because it's going to be 3D, but in 2D. It's going to be perfect. Just all the Terminator action coming right at you. It's going to be so cool. Eating Raoul, but Eating Raoul just got put out by that was put out by Criterion. Not that they couldn't double dip, but because I just picked it up. I just picked up Eating Raoul.
Paul says, "Awesome show, Ryan's." Man, I just had a no. It doesn't fit. Never mind. The whole regional auteur part really throws that off.
Yeah, the mouth-watering classic from a regional auteur. I mean, are we doing some Italian? I mean, that makes me think, is it some sort of cannibal? But like regional I would imagine is here, right?
Generally, yes, but I. So I'll just say that the thing that I was just thinking is it finally like a really great release of the thief, the cook, his wife, and their lover?
That's a good call. That would, but is that regional?
That's what I get tripped up on the regional thing.
Yeah. Squirm, squirm. That I don't know if that's regional, but
Yeah.
interesting.
How am I feeling about the VS title so far for tonight? I like Homegrown. Yes, that is the most exciting thing for me for sure. Yes, Umbrella did put that out before. And I believe there was a rumor that Janice might have gotten that eventually and it was going to be Criterion, but I don't know. It's odd that it doesn't have a release at this point. And
Squirm
actually,
is kind of a good guess. That's a good guess, Squirm.
and it's been out of
Damn, that's
print
a good
for
one.
quite some time.
It's a good guess. Jeff Lieberman. I mean, he's New York, but I don't know how regional that is, but yeah, he also did Just Before Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to double check this. It stars Don Scardino, who like went on to like work on like 30 Rock and stuff. Did like a lot of work on
Nice.
directing a lot of sitcoms and stuff. I think he's got a red hair in that. Saw that a couple years ago. Squirm. Oh, Sibner's on it. Has a list of lost or partially lost film negatives. Okay.
Now, yeah, Squirm is a damn good guess now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one, like, they've picked up so many of those Scream Factory titles that have gone out of print. It would not be super surprising.
Oh yeah, I could see that they thought the negative was lost. The stuff, I think the stuff is still owned by Arrow. They still have the they're the ones that have the release on Arrow on the stuff. That's where I have my Blu-ray from.
Me too, although I think just like a year and a half ago they re-upped their contract on the stuff. So yeah, I don't think that one would be available yet. Although I got to admit, I would love a really nice 4K of the stuff. With please, Arrow, if you're going to do it, give us updated features and make it like a hard box release rather than what they did for it the first time. Because it's Larry Cohen. Come on,
100%, 100%. We haven't got to that one yet. That's one so I'm like waiting, savoring when we're going to eventually talk about the stuff. It's such a good film.
Love that movie.
Yeah, Tarantino's my best friend's birthday. That would be an interesting one for them to put out. And it would be interesting to think of Tarantino as a regional filmmaker. But that's
Tarantino is a regional filmmaker.
I mean, sure.
Sibner says, "I think I found it." Right after saying that.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I mean, you're gonna have to tell us on the chat there, right?
There are other Larry Cohen movies that are not on HD yet. that is we're due for sure. Ooh,
1974's Corpse Eaters.
Corpse Eaters.
I mean, that goes with the hints there.
That's a good call.
Wave is asking, what does it mean by regional? Regional usually means like a Bill Rebane type that was mentioned in the chat earlier, or like a Bill Griffey, who pretty much made all of their movies in like the bayous in Louisiana, or in a tiny little town in Florida, or like Earl Owensby in North Carolina. There's so many of these just clustered directors that just stayed in one little area. 1974's Corpse Eaters is a good call, though. Man, how'd you find it, Sibner? Looked up Corpse Eaters. Looks interesting.
Was that on the list, Sibner?
Get Stephen Thrower on here. He'll know. Well, funny enough, Stephen Thrower was supposed to be on here and had it all scheduled, and he had to back out. We've not been able to reschedule yet.
Did I take his place?
What shoes to fill?
Awesome.
After being sold as a tax write-off, the film faded into obscurity for years until Encore Home Video rediscovered it in '93 and released it on DVD several years later, claiming to have transferred their copy from the only known surviving print. This version runs 57 minutes and is considered incomplete. So that could be really cool for them if they found the entire thing and be the first ones. Weird.
Yeah, I just picked up Stephen Thrower's book, Nightmare USA, too, so maybe I'll look it up.
I was reading out of that today.
Man.
Literally this afternoon.
It's daunting, that book. It is.
Yeah.
It's massive, too. It's trying to find where to put that thing. It's so big. Apparently his Fulci book is even bigger.
Oh, it is. And then the Franco book is 2 books that are bigger than the Fulci book. So, yeah, it gets super, super overwhelming. Sibner just Googled, but man, can I Google? That's what she said. Sibner. Oh, man, that seems to fit. Interesting. And it's the 70s, and that's what one of those are. Ronnie, yeah, those Franco books, they are the Bible for sure. How much should I say here? I used both of those books quite a bit last August and September.
Okay. Sibner, start Googling with that. Figure out what Ryan's saying.
Oh, man. Yeah, Volume 1 has supposedly been needing to go back in print for quite some time. Oh, that's what she said was Chad saying it's so big.
Very good. Very good, Sibner.
Well, I mean, it seems like Sibner may have cracked the code.
I think he did.
I think that was actually a really good shout.
We had a man on the scene, and he brought back the goods. Told us, if it's not that, I'm going to be surprised. I think that's a great call. Night, Sam. Thanks for hanging out, man.
See ya, Sam. Ronnie, really? Yeah, this has been fun. I don't think we got much else to cover. Really just want to say, if I didn't stress it enough earlier, everybody please make sure you're subscribed to the New World Pictures podcast, because it's perfection in every form.
I don't know about that, but
It's true.
I think it's
It's one of my
deliberately a little
favorites.
messy, but I appreciate that. No, that's very kind of you. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Thank you for having me on, man. This is awesome. It is so great to be on the other side. Normally I'm in the chats, throwing bits out there with everybody else. So this is very cool. Thank you for having me on here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a great week of releases. I'm excited to spend all my money.
You had some damn good titles tonight. I'm happy for
Dude.
you.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Hopefully we didn't do anything that would take the video off of YouTube and screw you up.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, anything that people need, let us know. We'll see you next Thursday. Like I said, next week I got an interview going up with Alternate Innocence. The week after that, Jim O'Hare here in the movie room with me.
Great interview.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude.
New World
Good
Pictures
stuff.
podcast putting out gold every week that they release something. Just go subscribe. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we'll have some good stuff. We're about to dip into something that we have never touched, which is television, New World Television.
Oh,
That's going to be what we're going to start doing, because we've never talked about that element of New World, but we did video, or we started to go into just we did already some video only releases, but we dipped into that in October, where we did just stuff that was released on New World Video and nowhere else. And now we're going to start dipping into some television, because there is a ton of movies, TV shows. Like, they did a ton of stuff. So
yeah.
We're just going to be dipping our toes into it. So it'll be fun.
All right. Well, everybody, if you're interested, I'll throw out Patreon too. I never really oh wow.
Oh, hey. Okay. Well, I didn't want to say anything, but
Ryan Gowland on an upcoming CIP disc. That's
I
pretty exciting.
yeah, that is extremely exciting. But I didn't want to say anything, because I didn't know if I should. But
Look
that's
at that.
I mean, okay, it's out there.
Very interesting. Yeah,
Hope
like I
that
was gonna
whets
say.
your appetites, everybody.
Yes. Go look up New World Pictures podcast and you'll find why, because it's great. Anyways, Patreon link in the description below. Come join the Discord. Come talk with me and the other Ryan all the time, because we're posting pickup pictures and asking questions about random movies and talking about what we're watching and loving it. So hey, we'll see you on the next one, everybody.
Yeah. See you.